Giants, who are really beaten up now, aren't they? Late in the season, they lose Kelly with concussion, Iden with a foot. Tom Green has been managed. His form has waned a little bit. He's got a bit tired. And Hogan managed as well late in the season. So they've brought in Kennedy, Bruce, Briggs and Sprouse. So they've gone pretty tall against the Blues. Collingwood and Essendon, the feature game Sunday afternoon. Adams and Quaynor should strengthen Collingwood. Rusco omitted there, and young Carmichael. Henry remains out of the team as well after being the sub last week. No change for Essendon. Ham is out as last week's sub. West Coast and St Kilda. So Brett Ratton has gone on with his promise of omitting players. In addition to the changes he made on Thursday night, Leonard, Ross, Windhager and Clark come in. Highmore omitted, Wanganeen, Miller omitted, and Zach Jones is omitted along with Ben Long and Paddy Ryder with a calf injury. And if the Saints have any chance, they've got to just have to win that one, don't they, against the Eagles?
Oh, absolutely. But I don't think it's a sure thing, to be honest.
No.
Well, the Eagles have certainly improved. You know, they've got obviously some experience and star power back. I'm not sure who to tip. I can't trust the Saints at the minute.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles were going to worry a few more teams in the run home, but I think they've had a few more injuries when they're expecting to get players back. It'll be interesting to see where they finish that race for the bottom now, won't it?
Surely they're not throwing games to finish last.
No, they're not, but they are putting blokes away. If there's any doubt on
that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Gee, they'll be flat, though, if the AFL hand North Melbourne a priority pick at the top of the draft.
Well, if it's at the top of the draft.
Surely they can't.
Yeah,
they couldn't do it.
That could only come into play if West Coast finished last, if Luke Jackson, for instance,
was open to
if
going
Melbourne
there.
played hardball, and that sits there for the Eagles. So Fremantle will be certainly hoping, I think, that's not the case. Carlton and GWS we've mentioned, so let's go back to how do you see Essendon and Collingwood first of all?
Well, I think it's just a sneaky game of the round from where I sit. Bombers are in terrific form. There's so much to like about their last month. Their scoring's gone through the roof. Their contest and stoppage stuff's gone through the roof. And then the Pies have been one of the great stories of the year, and they play an exciting brand of footy. Both teams play really quick on turnover. I think it makes for a great game.
Yeah, I'm just checking the weather for Sunday. I think it's going to be magnificent.
Nice,
so,
yeah.
What an attractive game. Like two teams playing a beautiful brand of footy, really. Fast ball movement. Finally, Ben Rutten has his players playing to the strengths that he should have been allowing them to play with at the start of the year. But does any side move the ball quicker off half-back than these two sides when they're going as Fremantle enter the arena here at Marvel, getting set not too far away from the bounce of the ball. So that's going to be a cracker. I hope they try and test this youngster out, Dacos. Does my head in, Hutto.
Jones
I think they
does
will. My head. They have to. I don't know who the man is. I don't know who it is. I hope it's everywhere. I hope it's not you take him when he's forward or you take him when he's when you take him. No. This is a job that they have prepared for all week. There's a target on his head, and let's make him earn his kicks, particularly those ones front of centre.
If I was coaching, McGrath's probably the matchup, I reckon.
I don't know if he's got a hard enough edge.
Guelphy
is give me someone who's going to ruffle some feathers. I don't know.
Who have you got? Throw a name.
Well, even if it's Will Snelling, just say, Will. So on Tuesday, he gets called into one of the assistant coaches and say, Will, I've got a job for you. This is what you're going to eat, sleep and breathe this week, is how to stop this bloke, and we're going to help you do it. That's what I want. Now, no one does it anymore. Longmire's the only one that does it anymore to good effect. But we're so nice. We're just too. I've written about this in the Herald today, the West Australian today. We're too nice. We shake hands before the start of the game. Every coach talks up the other opposition before the game and all. We heard Chris Scott speak about Port Adelaide. Oh, they're going to really challenge us. Oh, they're going to really challenge you. You know, they so complimentary. Let's get a hard edge back. Where's Hayden Ballantyne? Where's those players that are prepared to put themselves out there and get under the skin?
Oh, and someone does it and you have a crack at them for going around with a GoPro.
That's a different story. Carrying on after the game is different to getting under the skin of an opposition out on game day. That's where the Giants have fallen away. They used to have a hard edge.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Just quickly on Nick Dacos. I know you touched on this on Monday, Jerry, with King. It was the question I wanted to ask on our show last Sunday night, and I didn't get it out in time, was what can Nick Dacos actually become? What is he going to be? He's already this, calling that game last week. my view on him from the start of the game to the end, I was like, Bucks, you quit too early. You got this is a transformational player for a club.
If you forecast 2024 and then run that to 2028 and then run that to 2032 when he's a 10-year player, like the raw materials right now have him look like a Hall of Fame career budding. Once his body is there and moves into the midfield, his brain is clearly so good.
Yeah. Sort of wonder how much better he's going to get.
Well, is he going to be a Voss, Hurd, Buckley player?
I think maybe the comparison that I just came into my head then is Ablett Jr. Can he be Ablett Jr.? Can he go into the midfield, win clearances, be tough, competitive, but penetrating front of centre? That's what Ablett is. He's the best finisher I've seen, and said during the week, Dacos just looks a magnificent finisher. It's such a skill to be able to run inside 50 and finish.
Yeah.
Like, I could never do it. A lot of players can't do it. Like, Dylan Shield can't do it. Hugh McCluggage can't do it. This guy's just got the composure to finish. Ablett's the best finisher I've seen. This guy could be something like that.
And that's what makes him one out of the box, really, though, Mike. He's just... that quality forward to centre is what sets him apart.
His maturity at the level he is now with the footy is astonishing, isn't it?
Astonishing.
Better tick off the other games quickly because, as you said, Kane, we're counting down to the bats of the ball, about 10 minutes away here. And the grand final rematch for the second time, the Bulldogs and Melbourne. Do we give the Dogs a real chance with Norton returning?
Yep. I do. They'll give the Dogs a chance. Like, when they get the game on their terms, and if they can match them on ball... they've got some weapons, don't they? Their halfbacks are threatening, and Melbourne, I'm just a bit concerned about the continuity of their forward line. Like, are they going to get 6 from Pickett again? Probably not. And if he doesn't get 6, they lose to Port Adelaide, really. So, where their goals are going to come from. I would favour Melbourne, but I think the Western Bulldogs, if they're on, particularly with their hunt around the ball, they can make life challenging.
And the Q clash, which I've got an interest in because I'm calling it, but I actually think Brisbane are going better than what everyone's giving them credit for at the moment. They lost to Essendon with all their players out, so I just completely wiped that one off. And I know the Giants are lame, but I thought, watching that game back during the week, I thought Brisbane were really good, and some of the play, like Bailey's out of form, that's a worry, but I thought Hipwood started to show some signs. Rayner kicked 3 goals.
McStay was better.
What was that?
McStay was better.
McStay was much better. So, and Chris Fagan's kind of, I think he thought they turned the corner against the Bulldogs, and then they've been hit by COVID. So I think, I could be, because they've just gone win-loss for 8 weeks, which is obviously not great. And there's clearly been some issues with them, but I'm really interested to see whether they're a genuine contender or not.
For sure. I think there's a little bit of luck over the next, 4 or 5 weeks, but I think they'd like to be flying under the radar up there and just slowly tinkering away, getting some of those guys back into form, and just, as I said, it's just keeping those guys on the park and building that continuity.
They'll need one of their key forwards. They'll need Joe to get back to what he was at the start of the year.
It's a bit like the Freo. Can you really trust the forward line? I can trust their smalls. Like, I love their smalls. Charlie Cameron in a big game. Bailey, no issue there, but it's their tools. But if they've got a tough 5 weeks, which I like.
Yeah, so if they make it,
they're going to deserve it. And they're going to get there in good form.
Yeah.
So for those, it's Gold Coast, Richmond, Carlton, St Kilda and Melbourne to finish out the year. So if they're going to make top 4, they'll be very deserving of their spot and capable of doing damage. I don't know if they're good enough, but we're about to find out.
And the Suns were horrible last week. That was just such a shocking follow-up to the week before. So we might leave it there, Jerry. We're getting closer.
All right, let's go into the garage for our match preview, thanks to Autobarn. Autobarn has all your top automotive gear at low prices. Our experts tonight, Nathan Jones and Kane Corns, our experts throughout the year, addressed by Ringers Western. Ringers Western clothing looks great in the city and toughs it out on the land. What do you think, lads? Pick it apart.
I'm looking for the ferocity of both teams. I mean, we've seen teams, good teams, seasoned teams, have a poor week and respond ferociously the following week. So I'm expecting that from both. But Richmond have the maturity to do that. You know what it's like when you have a really disappointing couple of weeks. You train it hard. You drill down on the little things. Everyone starts to refocus and the physicality goes up at training. You do a couple of extra tackling drills and you bring your mouth guards to training. And that gets a response. But both sides are in that similar position. And I guess the contrast of game style will be interesting for me. So how difficult can Fremantle be to move the ball against? You've highlighted already that Richmond have had no trouble scoring this year. Let's see if Fremantle are able to shut them down and get the footy in their half of the ground, more so than Richmond in their halves when you know it's on their terms.
Yeah, it's an interesting battle for mine with the two game styles in particular. Like we heard Adam Kingsley touch on before, they're not going to play anything like what Sydney played last week. And the interest for mine is the Dockers defending that. So you're going to see Richmond be a lot more free-flowing, a lot more keeping the ball in motion, playing with a lot more speed. And you'd expect, with them being wound up after a couple of poor weeks, that they're going to give Freo no room to move. And it's going to be an interesting one. Freo, one of the more slower teams with the footy. They have the lowest mark play-on percentage of any team in the league. So it's going to be a real battle, a battle of those intercept possessions through the middle of the ground, a battle around the contest of who can gain territory. And I think it shapes up to be a really terrific game. There's some pivotal matchups. I'm looking forward to seeing the two rucks go at it, Darcy and Nankervis. And the one for mine is Walters and Rioli. I hope that does eventuate. I think both players are in really great form. I think Rioli, I've touched on him, having watched him a few times this year, is one of the revelations with his form down back. And then that midfield battle, there's some genuine stars in there. Andy Brayshaw's had an unbelievable season, backed up by Sarong, Fife, Brodie, Mundy. And then you've got, obviously without Dusty, but a relatively strong midfield for Richmond with Cochin, Prestia, Short, Bolton, Graham, Baker, these kind of guys. They add a little bit more versatility, flicking those high forwards in there. But, I think that battle in particular is going to be pretty pivotal to the game.
Yeah, I reckon Fremantle are at their best when they're winning centre bounce as well. I mean, they're really damaging. And on this ground, if you win centre bounce clearance, you're going to have a pretty good night. Get the footy in your front half when it's even numbers. So Richmond thrive on stoppage game, pressure around the footy, quick kick out of stoppage, have the extra behind the ball after you've let the half forward come back, intercept the ball and then go. They're not necessarily worried about winning the clearance. They're worried about winning it back off the clearance and then getting their game going from there. You can't do that from centre bounce. So pivotal matchup, one that Jonesy and I watch pretty closely, is who's having the ascendancy from centre bounce, because on this ground so vital.
Sorry, Kane. One of the real interesting things is, and I think I touched on it earlier, Richmond has scored 17 points per game from centre bounce. So they're ranked second in the comp from scores from centre bounce. Whereas the last 4 rounds for Fremantle, they've conceded
dropped off.
Yeah, I think they're second worst competition in defending centre bounce scores. So that is absolutely, as you touched on, that is going to be pivotal to the result in this game.
Both teams are going through their warm-ups for Ream. Ask your plumber to install a Ream steady, hot and strong. There are unmissable moments in their history for Drinkwise. Choose to drink wise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise. Monday after the siren winner at the MCG back in sort of the peak Richmondy days does come to mind. What have you got matchup-wise?
Well, Jonesy touched on a couple of them. Like the ruck battle's fascinating. Now, Nankervis has given away 49 free kicks, 9 more than any other player in the competition. 9 of those are from ruck infringements, which is what Damien Hardwick wasn't happy about this week. They've sought clarification, but very similar. Like Darcy's a younger version, really, of Nankervis, maybe with a few more tricks, but they are the spiritual leaders and driver of, I guess, the attitude for both sides. So Darcy, for me, plays a really important role in that space. He doesn't have a leadership title next to his name. Nankervis does, but the head-to-head battle for those two and how they manage the second person that goes in as well, particularly for Richmond, is going to be an interesting balance for Damien Hardwick tonight.
For sure. I think it's the physical presence that both those guys bring. It's they're at different points in their careers, but their influence on the boys around them, making them walk taller, and I guess inspiring that contest and the energy that you're trying to particularly generate from stoppage and clearance. That matchup is going to be a ripper to watch.
The wing one as well, just quickly, Pickett's in really good form and has been for a long time, and that's been highlighted probably internally more so than externally, but as have Fremantle's wingers as well. Clark was targeted by Sydney last week. I know he plays a bit of half-back, but Akers into the side as well. Had a brilliant start to the year before that soft tissue injury.
The Kubota casts. We're under the closed roof. It has been a lovely day in Melbourne. For Kubota, together we are shaping and building Australia, and the ground is in great nick for Pope, the better way to water. What of Nat Fyfe tonight? What would you like to see?
I'd like to see him work harder from contest to contest. At the moment, to me, he doesn't look great physically. He doesn't look the streamlined version that we've seen of Fife before. He looks too heavy to me, and I'm looking forward to watching him live, how he works from contest to contest. How many efforts has he got in him? Because at his best, put him in a phone box with the footy around it, him and Dangerfield are as good as I've seen.
Yeah.
So if the ball is in their area, they're the best I've seen at winning it. So does he have one effort there, or does he have two or three? And what impact can he have forward? Because I don't think he's a natural forward. He had some pretty good success against the Saints a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think he reads it as a forward as well as some of the other midfielders that rest there.
Yeah, I'd just like to see him played in a similar fashion to some of those guys that, they really crunch in and they're high energy around the contest, and then the game style is set up for them to slip forward. Melbourne do it a little bit with Petrarca. Obviously, it's been widely reported with how well Richmond have executed with Dusty, but I think that's the best mould for him. He's not the Fife of old where he spends big minutes in the midfield. I think you want to see the absolute best of him. They've got some guys that almost, locomotive kind of guys that just churn out K after K. He's the man that comes in there with the real power and speed, and then he slips forward and tries to create some sort of mismatch.
He's starting forward by the look of it.
A final word for Shawl Unify, your national uniform and workwear experts. Who are you tipping, Kane?
I'm going to tip Richmond. Interesting Logue as well, Hutto. He did the job on Buddy last week.
Yep.
Said he was their best player. He's going to start forward.
Nathan, who are you tipping?
I'm going to go with the Tigers.
All that for Autobarn Top Gear low prices. Round 19 is upon us. Friday night, it's Richmond and Fremantle. The opening bounce for Tyre Power. Your match day favourites for tyre safety. On AFL Nation, you're with Anthony Hudson.
And it's Ivan Soldo who the Tigers go to first in the ruck to take on Sean Darcy. The two men mountain in the middle. They clash, and it's Soldo that gets the tap down to Prestia and then guided to Bolton and then safely out to the wing where McIntosh was located. He works in with Broad to get to a better position. Received the handball and bombs away to half forward. Brodie pushing back hard, backing back and takes the mark. The Docker midfielder and takes a good intercept mark to get his night underway.
Baker plays everywhere, but he's also started forward with Nan Curvis for the Tigers.
Laid on and opened up a bit of access to the leading Taberner, who came up to the logo to take the mark on the City wing. Ball went to ground, so he gets himself reset now and contemplates where to next. He takes a super short option that was on.
Already it's really obvious and evident that Freo just want to mark and hold the footy up. No sign whatsoever of wanting to play quick.
And it's Akers who marks and then goes long to half forward. Fife was behind. He was pushing with Grimes, who's his opponent. Loose ball to be won. And it was worked out of there by Brodie, but to a 4 versus 1 against Fremantle. Although Cotchin didn't make the best of it. He got caught in all of that. And good tackling from Andy Brayshaw, who else? And he wins himself a free just outside his range.
Yeah, he lifted his arm, so there's your pride. Good tackle. Tried to kick it and do the right thing, but just missed his boot. How inspirational is this guy? What a season he has. The best two-way midfielder, I think, currently in the game.
Set up kick, so he didn't go for goal. Soldo gets back with Grimes to make the spoil. Logue flicked the hand pass. Sarong gave it back to him unexpectedly, but didn't he adjust well? He kicked it as high as you could imagine, but the most important thing was it held its line, and Fremantle has its first goal of the night. And look at them all jump around Griffin Logue, who's just kicked his career 4th goal.
Well, it was an interesting start and match-up change, really. I mean, last week he was magnificent. You keep Franklin to 7 possessions and 1 goal. Justin Longmuir said after the game he was their best player, and then to see him start forward was interesting, but we know he's done that at times this year. And Jonesy was describing the methodical nature of their ball movement so far. So Brayshaw won the free kick just outside 50, about 55 out. There was no rush. There was no urgency. He was just happy to put it to the top of the goal square.
Yeah, you can tell that they're wanting to build up and just take their willingness to just be able to take territory, go long down the line. They'll back the density at that contest to win. They did that perfectly twice and created a score.
Just hints at an idea that any mug could hold Franklin these days. Bounced in the middle. The ruckman go to work. Bolton's beavering away underneath. Couldn't make anything of it. Cotchin fed it up to Prestia. Gave it to Rioli, who fumbled the footy and put it back into dispute. Walters, good heavy work with his body. Brodie got carried forward in the tackle. The umpire's going to ball it up in the centre square.
Just a touch off, Jared. That spoil was really central that set up the Logue goal before, and Rioli just an easy fumble off half-back, uncharacteristic.
Darcy clean down to for Sarong. Hurried the kick, though, and standing in the hole was Broad.
They thrive on this. So pressure around the stoppage. I don't care if they win the stoppage or not, as long as they win it back, which they've done with the intercept through Broad.
He uses Miller out wide with nothing more decisive to go to. There's a lump of a lad, Miller. He kicks it down the broadcast wing. Nankervis brought it to ground. No attempt to mark. He's in there tackling, short working as well. Nankervis fed the hand pass up. It ball jarred clear and Prestia tidied up to Pickett, to Baker. High ball did Revolt no favours. In fact, it'll bounce right near the boundary and complete its journey with some help from Pearce. Throw it in. Right forward pocket for the Tigers.
They like that one back, Baker, but just a good example of how Pickett holds his width. So trust your teammate to win the ball in traffic, hold his width, and that gave them the outlet.
40 metres around from goal. Good muscle work from Soldo. Won it cleanly down to Revolt, who dumped
the
it to
first
Bolton,
one.
who was tackled immediately.
Did he duck hard? I need another look at this, Jared. What are you nodding along?
I reckon the umpire did a really good job there, Kane.
Well umpired.
That
maybe
was a free
it could
kick
have been
last
there,
week.
actually.
That was a free kick last week.
It was on the point of the shoulder, wasn't it? Off the left boot, Revolt hacks it towards goal. It took a sharp turn, but it was already across the line. So first score is a minor one for Richmond.
If the umpire wasn't blindsided then, that would have been interesting. I'm paying a high free.
So the kick in is a safe one, and Young, the ponytail, he marks and clears the defensive area out wide for Ryan.
Can't wait to watch Young play. He doesn't have a weakness in his game. Really strong in the air, magnificent ball user. Signed long term with the Dockers. Good young player.
Ryan long down the line to a 2-on-2. Fife is in it. Grimes made the spoil. Floston working underneath. Dragged to ground by Brodie. Umpire balls it up.
Pearce got the job on Jack Revolt. They still clearly rate him as the most dangerous Richmond forward. Nag forward fascinates me. The likelihood of him kicking a goal tonight, rare.
Solo and Darcy, nothing definitive. Prestia had it stolen by Sarong, who took a few yards out toward the boundary. Grimes offloaded Fife, but the ball was trickling away and out of play.
You could see what his job was on the wing before. He didn't even go for the mark. He just punched it. And Cox has been a very good interceptor this year, so maybe that's it.
Defensive role, yep.
But, yeah, it's interesting. Bolt is in the team as well, so see what happens there. The tap down. It's worked back to the wing. Young carries it.
See, that's rubbish from Cochin.
Yep.
Win the clear. You've got to be better than a 15-metre kick upfield. They're going to thrive on that, both sides. We've seen Boston take one already. Now, Young, you've got to be more damaging from the stoppage if you win a clearance.
Pearce drifted down for defence to make himself dangerous. Handball to Clark. Couldn't take the shot, but he does. Handball to Aish, who screws it back. He made terrific contact. That Fremantle have a second snap goal. This time from the boot of James Aish. And that is a rarity too. That's just his fifth goal of the season. And so what a fine start for the Dockers. 2 straight 12. Richmond 1 behind. And that is all on the Tyre Power scoreboard, your trusted tyre experts.
What's been really impressive, Kane, is the ball movement of Freo. Initially, we said they want to just build up and they're happy to take territory. But that time, they took what was on offer with the switchback in the middle of the ground. And I think it was Jordan Clark who ran, almost a sort of a boost type run through that man on the mark area, which created an overlap and kept the ball flowing in that phase of play, which was ended up in a beautiful finish with Aish. But it's I really like the way Freo are pretty methodical with the way they do it, and ultimately setting up their defence behind.
Both goals have been contenders for the goal of the night for Host Plus. That's a plus. In the middle, Darcy won the tap. It was pinched by Prestia off to Bolton. The Tigers come forward. Hands to it. Cumberland brought it to ground. Baker underneath. Couldn't get any curl on the snap. It's into the pocket. Nankervis hand passes to nobody in particular. And it is out of bounds, right forward pockets.
Yeah, they won the centre bounce clearance. You just want a bit more from that Shea Bolton kick. And then the one from Baker, his second, he gets to the right spots. He's such a clever footballer, but a couple of kicks he's had inside 50, he's miscued.
At the throw-in, Darcy cleared the way of Soldo. Didn't do a lot with it, though, so it has to be one underneath. Baker's on the spot, but he coughed it up to Brodie, then to Cox. Brushed the tackle of Nankervis. Kicks long on the way out, low front position. Miller did enough. Ball trickles to the back, and Tarrant keeps it away from Fife. Throw it in at the interchange gates. Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. Scoreboard 2 goals to a behind the Dockers lead.
You can just see how paranoid they are of Bolton. So Chapman, the youngster's got the job on him whenever he presents himself forward.
From the throw-in, Soldo got the clean tap away, but it fell for Mundy, who had to release it straight away, so no control. Short won it back, but a terrible kick inward. Is marked by Clark. It was well read. He has options through the middle, takes one of them on. Scrappy kick to Ace, did the best he could. Loose ball, centre half forward, Broad. Controlled it off the back line for the Tigers. Not the best handball for Miller. Gave Banfield a bit of a look. He lost control of the loose ball, but good help arrived. McIntosh with surety. Played it back to Broad, who changed his mind a couple of times. He saw Grimes on the switch, and now he had the choice of going long or short to continue that switch. He played the safe route via Tarrant, which has taken the extra time. So by the time Short has the mark, the Dockers should have most of the bases covered, although the kick was so perfectly weighted that it got over Mundy's big mop of hair, and it's marked by Pickett at right half-back.
Dockers by 11. Pickett with footy in hands. He kicks long down the line. What have they got? Nankervis reaches up. It came to ground. Brayshaw underneath for Freo. Found the way through the traffic with a hand pass to Akers. Bumbled it up to half forward. Grimes favoured by it. Hand pass to Floss and ran into the tackle. Got caught by Henry. Hand passed it away in the nick of time. Grimes to Tarrant. The Tigers maintained possession. And Miller has it over on the defensive 50. It's an incisive kick to the wing as Broad ran into space.
They did well to shuffle down and slow this kick because Broad was out. But they're coming from everywhere, Fremantle. That's when they play their best.
Broad got under the kick, didn't do Cumberland any favours. Bolton does the roving, pushed away Henry, sets it up to full forward. Revolts, falls back into the pocket and takes the mark.
I love watching him play. How good is he? Every time he gets near the footy, particularly inside or in and around inside 50, he's just such a dangerous player.
So Nank's staying full forward. Bolter's coming on as second ruck at the moment.
Right.
Didn't have his kicking boots on last week, Jack. Looking to make amends for that. He'll hook it around the corner and hit the left-hand goalpost.
Oh, no.
Yeah, unusual miss. 2-6 last week, of course. Had the hips a little bit, and that was bread and butter for him. Nank's got a shin pad on, so I'm sure he'll spend at least some time on ball. That was just pure brilliance. Jones, you shaking your head. You couldn't believe how he got himself in and out of traffic and then found Revolt. Something out of nothing because they're just not moving the ball very well at all, Richmond, so far.
10-point margin. Ryan says the Dockers towards the wing. Good contest there. Tarrant to the front. Rioli and then Cochin. The game came to a standstill as he worked out what to do next. He played it back to Rioli, who's at right half forward, right up against the line. Rio by 10, no way forward for him, plays it back to Tarrant.
Well, look at him, every Fremantle player essentially in line or in front of where this ball is going. So you're going to have to kick it long down the line to a contest. Perhaps that's why Nankervis is there.
Well, that's what he does now. Got worked under the ball by Cox pretty well, pushed him off the line and fisted the ball back over the boundary and out some 40 metres around from goal. It's still the Dockers by 10. Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts.
You touched on it, Kane, how good Freo have been defensively. They've been outstanding so far, stifling any sort of movement from Richmond.
Darcy down to Mundy, off to Fife, running out of half-back. He feeds it to Brayshaw and on to Frederick. They run the gauntlet on the boundary. Schultz back to Frederick. The Dockers unrelenting. Kick up into the forward pocket. Ralph Smith had the fly, didn't take the mark. Whistle on the play. Tigers free kick to Foster.
Well, that's a worry. They're challenging him with their handball from a back stoppage all the way to forward 50. Fife was involved. Brayshaw's speed. Frederick and the small forwards also. Here they come again.
Broad's in strife. He got caught by Brayshaw. He coughed it up. Banfield took the snap and missed to the near side.
Irrespective of the miss, they're on Freo. They're outstanding. They're relentless with their pressure, their ability to get up the ground, get in behind Richmond and then squeeze back up on them. It's been very impressive.
Their ability to open field tackle, so to nail the tackle one-on-one, not an easy skill. They've done it a couple of times. Broad's a bit sore after that tackle as well.
Freo by 11.
Kick from Flostone out to the wing. Soldo had a run and jump but didn't take the mark. Young is going to be taken immediately. The arms are grabbed, both of them. He dropped it and he's been penalised holding the ball as Richmond do take the advantage. A bit dubious. It had to come back to Baker, who lofted the handball to young Tyler Sonsi, who floated it further. Every handball getting closer to turn it over, and there it is. Turned over to Young, he gave it to Henry. Improvised kick. Mundy, watch out! Pickett rapidly off the bench and got him high.
That was a genuine high tackle, and they're not happy. It was a really aggressive statement from Pickett, clearly high. And it's a bit going on between Brayshaw and Pickett as well. He didn't love it. I love Andy Brayshaw. He started really strongly. Fremantle are hungry. They're coming after them.
You should have liked that back, Kane. You like a bit of anger. in the game. As
That's
Young
what you want.
plays it to half forward. Here's Tabernar, dishes it off to Walters. It's all at close quarters. It's hard to be clean. Now he applies the tackle, and the ball is jammed
So
in
they
there
just
somewhere.
look rattled, don't they? Like even good teams, you come at them with pressure. A few hospital handballs, turnover balls, turnover kicks. You want to go downstairs?
Well, he's got Nathan Broad's gone downstairs.
Yeah.
There we go.
Spitwater tough and ready. Straight down to the rooms. Bolton with a loose hand pass inboard and it turns over. Clark worked it around in close confines. Mundy got it from Chapman. Kicks to full forward. Richmond with the numbers though. And as we have seen so often, Flostone to absolute advantage takes the intercept mark. Flostone plays it out the far side for Miller. He looks beyond the defensive 50. He kicks the ball well. Places it for Rioli. Don't have a lot to work with, though, down the city wing, the Tigers. So it'll be a short kick again to Tarrant.
It's amazing how quickly they get up in front of the ball, Freo. So you look up, whether it's centre wing, whether it's back pocket, every Fremantle player in front of this ball, which forces the long kick.
To a contest. Bolter attacked it hard, dropped the mark, but gathered the crumb. Turns himself onto the left and delivers inside 50. Pearce had position. Soldo made the spoil from behind. Dockers had numbers around it. Walker wasn't great. Did he drop it? He did. Cumberland with the scrambling tackle. A chance to put the Tigers right to the teeth of goal. What's he got? Baker against a couple. It'll be a free kick. No, it won't. He engaged with Ryan, who cleared the way for Henry. Sometimes that's paid. He was certainly kept out of the contest. A short kick for Clark as the Dockers build in defence.
Gee, it's interesting how tall they are, Richmond, with the type of talls they've got with Soldo and Nankervis
So
down
you
there.
can't allow Liam Henry to mark the ball in your forward 50 if you're that tall. Just alleviates all the pressure, particularly off turnover like it was.
Yep.
So you've got to go quickly, and the long kick to outnumber isn't great. And just looking at that broad tackle from Brayshaw. Brayshaw stood on his ankle, which rolled in, and he's clearly sore.
Throw in at half forward. It's 13 Fremantle, 2 Richmond. Logue dropped the ball as he tried to make the takeaway. Had good backup though from H. Got it across to Walker, put the move on, bypassed Baker. To centre half forward he goes. Tigers' defence is well established. And Grimes takes a pretty easy mark.
Third intercept mark. Now, Lob's not in the side with that shoulder, so that's the reason Logue started forward. He's going to do the second ruck duties.
Cross half back to Tarrant, who places it in front of Flostone. Bolton and Revolt about to come back on the ground for the Tigers to give them a different look they've had for the last 5 minutes up forward as Richmond play possession game. Edwards flings the handball to Ralph Smith and they get to half forward with Graham. His kick up into the 50. Cotchin was there, but Ryan saw him and he got there just to disturb. Now Clark's under the pump from Cumberland, who's earned himself another holding the ball free kick. Well done for Noah Cumberland.
Tackling's been outstanding from both teams. Probably 4 or 5 holding the balls already in that open field style tackling, one-on-one. Clark tried to brush him off with the don't argue. He just nailed the tackle. So just some composure here. He'd go back. He's got a good leg on him. We've seen that already. He's going to kick from 49, 50. Feels like they need it. Feels like they need this to get themselves into the game. Certainly started very scratchy, Richmond.
I think that's the feeling around Marvel Stadium at the moment, and from our experts for sure, uniform experts. Noah Cumberland gathers himself and kicks from 47 metres fluently and gives Richmond what they needed, their first goal. Gets the congratulations from his teammates and the fans. Tigers, Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts' first goal of the night. 1-2-8, feeling a little more settled now. Fremantle 2-1-13.
It was a beautiful finish, but you called it, Kane. He did need to show some composure, and that he did. And I feel like the last few minutes the Tigers have settled into the game a bit. They have looked better, albeit a little scratchy going inside 50, but they are still holding their own around the contest. They're creating enough opportunities. It's just been that polish going inside 50. And, we have sort of questioned the structure down there with how tall they've gone, but they're going to have to make sure they're anchoring one of those bigger guys deep to ensure that every time they're entering in that he can make a contest for those smalls.
Fremantle by 5. 8 minutes to go in the opening term on the Makita rule the outdoors clock, and a bounce that will be recalled. Soldo and Logue. Oh, tossed up. Soldo's there first. Tapped it down. Prestia left it behind. Cochin has to go back and get it. Hand passed it straight into Walters, and it turns over. Fife out the front to Brodie, who gives it away to Aish. Henry's on the fly. Works it up to Banfield. Back to Brodie, who followed it down, and he snaps the goal. One fumble in the middle, and the Tigers never saw it again. Fremantle with their third. 3-1-19 to Richmond. 1-2-8 on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert
was
scoreboard.
Slick, wasn't it? Jared, you called it beautifully. I was the perfect player. This is sort of the play you set up at training with Prestia involved. You couldn't have had it any better. It was a soft hit. It wasn't hard. He just made a mistake, and it's an uncharacteristic one. Then Fife got involved, and they were just clean. Brodie was involved. Aish. Henry's made some really good decisions tonight already. At one point, he was going to come long when he took that intercept mark from outside 50. He changed his mind and went short. He just looks like a player to me, and I think he will get there. A high draft pick, of course, and Fife's had some important touches as well in traffic. He was magnificent, and a good finish, good run, really clean. Their best piece of play so far.
Centre bounce, Soldo beaten up against Logue. He got the tap down, and out wide it goes to Cochin. Hurries it onto the boot. High ball for Baker to track towards the line. He got clobbered high. No whistle. He'll win it back, though. Got the handball to Edwards. Quick smart to Cumberland that time. Rolls reversed. He was tackled. Had to rush the handball away, which he did. Brodie's hands are good under extreme duress. And he was able to get the ball through Pearce and back to Clark, and they get into the clear at half-back. Not ideal service for Frederick, who fumbled the half volley. Sarong had it, lost it in the tackle. Frederick the same, put it to ground. Well, the umpire must have thought he wasn't actually being tackled when he dropped it, and he said play on, and the Dockers should just get out of trouble as Mundy plays it back to Pearce. A grubber, and it went straight to Bolton. You would not believe it. He can have two bounces and stroll into goal. That is a better gift than you'll get on the 25th of December.
Oh, he could not have got a better gift. And the worst man inside 50 to kick it to. Straight to him.
If he'd shown Pearce the footy, that would have been actually okay in that passage of play.
Well, I thought they were magnificent, Fremantle, in that moment, because they made some errors. The kick from Clark coming out was ugly, and that made it difficult, but they always had the follow-up number there to support, and I thought they were able to absorb some pretty extreme pressure. Mundy took the mark. It was actually touched, so he had to play on, went back to Pearce to alleviate some of the pressure, and they were out. They had the numbers on the open side, but I don't know. I'm never a fan of players who wear grass cats. Pearce loves the grass cats, and I don't think they do you any justice on Marvel Stadium. It was an absolute grubber.
Well,
there's
a category for a clanger a bit later on, so that's been settled early. Took all the tension out of it. The bouncing's no good. It's been recalled as well. So Fremantle by 5. Tyre Power scoreboard, your match day favourites for tyre safety. 6:41 left in the opening term. Soldo taps it down. Prestia takes it cleanly this time. His hand pass backward to Broad, who was in a spot of bother. Managed to winkle the hand pass back to Prestia. He kicks for Pickett, left half forward. What's he got inside 50? He's got Cumberland, who's such a likely type.
I tell you what, I don't know how, but Henry and Pickett just continue to find space on each other. They are manning each other on that far wing, but they just continue to pop up without each other next to each other. So it's an interesting matchup at the minute. They're allowing a lot of free rein over there.
Smart kick from Pickett going inside as well. Really easy just to bomb that one to the top of the goal square where the numbers are. He just lowered his eyes nicely, and he's got the journey. We know that.
It's a very similar kick to the one that he's already landed. Noah Cumberland from 50 launches into it, misses to the left.
Big kick on him. Jeez, 6
really
like
roost.
Yeah.
Freo by 4. Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts.
Safely back into play that time. Chapman takes the mark. And then up to medium kick to a one-on-one contest. The best Logue could do was to nullify Miller. And now Bolton's got it. And they're all chasing him as he turns over the left. Tosses it up high. Revolt trying to double back on Pearce. Held his ground. Cox enters the fray. Release the handball to Henry, who plays it back to Young. It should suit his left boot to curl it out of the immediate danger. Broad's back out there. The ball eluded him. It was touched. That's way over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in at left half forward for Richmond.
Pearce was so good then. I know we had a laugh about his grubber, but Revolt had the position. The kick from Bolton wasn't perfect, but he was in good position, started in front, went back and felt the body without giving away a free kick. Not easy to do.
Soldo fell over at the throw-in, and that enabled the luxury for Fremantle's Darcy to kick it forward. Now Schultz gives it to Frederick. Can they catch him. Rioli pursues. He had to change his angle. Awkward kick forward. Logue. He's worked towards the line. He got a handball back to Banfield. In the pocket. Steadies. Fires it all the way across goal. Now Akers and McIntosh are chasing it. Akers got the ball. McIntosh got him. Walters gave it back to Akers. Now it's for Brayshaw, who can snap it. Goal. It was a fine thing, but just the wrong side of the post. Chaotic stuff really in the forward play for Fremantle. 3-2-20 to 2-3-15.
A bit more time, didn't he? Fife's had some important touches. He didn't get a possession on the last one, but just a really smart tap onto Schultz, who gave it to Frederick, who
great chase from Rioli, wasn't it, on Frederick?
And miskicked as a result of that, but Fremantle blew an opportunity there.
Everything there on the car sales replay, everything you ought to know. Cochin brings it out of defence after getting the kick from Tarrant, and now McIntosh is serving at the defensive 50. Was looking back across the face of goal, and Tarrant waved his hand and said, no, get it out of here. Long down the line. Revolt flies over the top of Pearce, brought it to ground. Young does the roving for Freo. Sarong back over his shoulder to Darcy, too close to the boundary with his hand pass.
I just reckon they've said to Jack, just come up the ground a little bit more. You get Pearce out of his comfort zone. I think he loves it deep inside 50. Bolter's gone as the deepest forward. See if Revolt can do some work up the ground, presents the logos and get Pearce up the ground. He doesn't look to be moving that well, Pearce. He might be sore from that grubber kick before.
Soldo the tap. Short kept it moving. Out of mid-air went Cochin. Took some more territory. It bounced up to Cumberland, who stood in the tackle. Released it to Prestia. Kicked to Jack, who got out the back. The goal front is his, and Revolt couldn't help but land that one. The Tigers are in front.
That was just trademark Richmond, really. Just surging the footy. I think it was Cochin that left that stoppage really quickly, just booted the ball out of the air, really. And you could watch, I was watching Jack closely there. He kind of hedged his bets and almost enticed his backman to head up towards the contest. And as soon as he took a step forward, he was out the back. And I'll tell you what, Cumberland's had some important passages of play, but that handball there, the strength just to find a teammate, and obviously a grubber kick to get out the back, and Jack's quick read, quick reaction results in a relatively easy goal.
And Prestia was smart as well, just got it on the boot, knew that he had a player over the back, didn't have to be pretty, under serious pressure from Young, was good enough to find him, so it gets Jack involved in the game, and nice one for him to get when you've been a little bit inaccurate.
Joins Sav Rocker on 748 goals. Out of the middle, it squirts out to the wing. Short took a little while to control it, but he did eventually. Gave it a Prestia to half forward. The lead from Bolter is strong and decisive. Marks brings it back into Soldo on the bounce. It's going to get awkward from here. He used his brute strength to get through one, and then he handballed to Pickett under immediate pressure. A bouncing ball sneaks inside the 50. Bolter controlled it, got it to boot, slashes away a goal and misses. And it thunders through for a minor score. Richmond are in front. On the back of that, 3-4-22. They lead by 2 points over Fremantle. 3-2-20. And that is on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts scoreboard. We'll go around the grounds tonight for Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
Cox plays the outer side of the long kick in over the top of the contest. Akers onto the footy, hand pass to Walters, forward of the play to Darcy, shuttles it off to Brodie, confronted by Prestia, squeezed the kick to half forward. Banfield gathered the bouncing ball well off to Fife, sweeps it forward to Mundy, mown down by McIntosh. Mundy released the footy, short ran straight into Banfield. The Dockers trap at 40 from goal.
Goal-saving tackle from McIntosh. They had numbers everywhere, Fremantle, and they're worrying Richmond in open field. They look like they've got them for speed, and their transition with their handball and their handball receives is really threatening, and they can move the ball quickly.
Darcy got rid of Soldo, took it out of the ruck. Banfield, clever tap. Brayshaw, second look, second miss. Got that off the outside of the boot in all the wrong way, and he slaps his hands in the aftermath. They're down by a point. The Tigers lead it on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard.
He could have 3 goals, couldn't he? Had
a bit more time again.
The advantage play on that cost him, and then the 2 snaps. Richmond back into play, into the back pocket. The lead is just 1. Miller has the footy. Pops it, well identified Short, who just had a little pocket of space at left half back, and he'll try and do the same with a bit more ease to Pickett. 2 genuine wingmen out there, Akers v Pickett.
They're just happy to play wide. Jonesy picked up on this early. They're just not really that keen to bring the ball inside. Very happy to do this.
Up to half forward where Bolter looked like he was going to mark all the way, and he did. Graham is the unlikely forward target, and then leading up Curvis. It was a beautifully weighted ball for him. He just dropped it. Look at Bolton spinning his way through the pack. It's socked by Revolt, and it wasn't a bad effort either. It bounced up and hit the post. Almost kicked his second, and what he's done is given Richmond back a 2-point lead. 3-5-23 to 3-3-21. And that is on the Tyre Power, your trusted tyre expert scoreboard, as ace marks in the back pocket from the kick-in.
He's hit the post twice, Jack, in this opening term. Threatening to run hot for Ream, steady, hot and strong. Ace clears the area. A tangle between the two number twos, Logue and Grimes. And at the back, it's off bodies and out of play.
Bolton looks good forward, like presenting really, and causes some. He's not polished, is he? But he just, he's around, and he causes an issue. He's good above his head. And Nag just had hard hands. He won't get better opportunities than that inside 50.
Darcy taps it down.
Well done.
At the stoppage, Chapman found his way through to Young, who gives some ground for the direction out the far side to Ryan, who can really sink the boot into it and take the territory for Banfield on an expansive lead.
He's a hard worker, Banfield. He just blew Ralph Smith up there.
He wanders back inboard and delivers for Taberner. His first real look, spoil made by Miller, who then takes down Fife. Wins holding the ball. He just ran straight through the dual Brownlow medalist and dumped him to the turf.
That's a win.
That's a huge tackle.
Car sales replay, everything you auto know. Fife will be feeling that in every bone in his body.
His best moment in his 7 games so far, I reckon. Not a massive highlight, but you pin a Brownlow medalist like that, that's a statement.
Long to the wing with the numbers massed. Threatening to take it off the pack was Edwards. Ultimately, though, it's Ryan dragging down Curvis, and then Edwards does win it. Length on the handball. Consoldo control. No, below his knees. He couldn't. Chapman and Walker overran him, but look at the recovery. Got back in and laid a big tackle in Curvis. Followed up and stopped Walker in his tracks. It's a ball up 40 metres out from Richmond's goal.
That's a big plus for the structure they're running with tonight, to have those two big boys create a stoppage here.
Mac getting a chance to do some ruck work, grabbed it out of the ruck and got a handball off quickly. Prestia and Mundy had a crack at it. It fell back to Chapman, who kicks a high ball for Fremantle to the wing. The wrestle's on. It was Taberner versus Rioli, so that's a good win for the Tigers to force it back over the boundary line and out of bounds. It's still Richmond 3-5-23 and Fremantle 3-3-21. Tyre Power, your match day favourites for tyre safety.
Some of those safety still shed stats. Sorry, Jared. Andrew Brayshaw has already had 4 tackles.
From the throw-in, Logue won it down and they muddle around on the wing. It's finally a Richmond free kick. There was a bit of muddling going on there. Prestia brings it inboard. No mark taken. Bolton just harries his way and pinches a footy that for all the world wasn't his. Didn't do a lot with it though, and Cox made the spoil. And that gets us to quarter time. Richmond lead it by 2 points. 3-5-23 to Fremantle 3-3-21. Goal kickers Revolt, Bolton and Cumberland for the Tigers. For the Dockers, it's Logue, Aish and Brodie. AFL Nation tonight. The Tyre Power scoreboard, your trusted tyre favourites, tilted in the Tigers' favour by 2 points.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Tyre Power, your matchday favourites for tyre safety.
From first-time browsing to big-time arousing, Sexyland is all about fun. We have Australia's biggest range of sexy costumes, couples' toys, fun gifts and games for adults. And our team of fun specialists are always here to help in-store and online. Sexyland 11 stores open 7 days until midnight in Melbourne and Geelong, or shop online and get 2-hour delivery.
Take me now, I'm coming. Take me now, Sexyland. Get the biggest brands at the lowest prices. Head to Chemist Warehouse today and save on big brand vitamins like Healthy Care Vitamin C 500 milligram 300 tablets $13.99. Wagner Professional Probiotics 30 capsules $14.49. Care for your health. Try Microgenics Vitamin D3 1000 IU 200 capsules $14.99 and rest well with Nutrilife Magnesium Sleep 60 capsules $19.99. Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day. Installerine, Installerine, Installerine.
Well, the hottest of hot party you've ever seen. Rain comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on.
Want the assurance of an Aussie family-sized electric water heater with a 12-year cylinder warranty?
Install a Rain. Install a Rain. Install a Rain.
Then accept nothing less than Australia's best.
Go on, make the call. We all believe in you. One at a time, please. Thousands of Aussies keep switching to Kogan Mobile, but hurry right now. You can get started with Kogan from just $2.90 for 30 days, with unlimited calls and texts and a big 20 gig of data at award-winning prepaid prices. Make the call. Switch to Kogan Mobile from just $2.90 for the first 30 days at koganmobile.com.au/radio.
Hey, Nick Del Santo here. As a rookie, I was mentored by some of the best footy brains around. After all, you don't play over 300 games without starting somewhere. In business, it's easy to find a gun rookie. Just call MEGT. As Australia's largest and only national apprenticeship network provider, MEGT are your local apprenticeship experts. Whether you're an employer who needs an apprentice or you're looking to kickstart your career as one, MEGT has you covered. Visit MEGT.com.au or call 13MEGT.
Safety Steel. Time to get real.
Tim Watson here. Can you remember as a kid painting goals on the side of your dad's shed and shooting for goals day after day? Well, they built them tough back then, just like the sheds from Safety Steel. For prefab, steel kit buildings and custom designed sheds that are tough and durable, search Safety Steel. For your dream shed, search Safety Steel.
Safety Steel. Time to get real.
Get the power of safer tyres before you go on holidays. A road safety message from Tyre Power.
Correct tyre inflation is the single most important part of tyre care. It helps keep them in good condition to provide optimum performance and maximum life. The best thing you can do before a long journey is check your tyre pressure and top them up with air if needed. And don't forget to check the spare tyre too.
Get the power of expert advice. Get the power of Australia's biggest independent. Visit tyrepower.com.au for your local owner operator.
Kane has a carpentry business. His challenge to renew his public liability insurance for less than his old policy. On your marks, get set.
Yeah, I just did it.
What?
Yeah, I went online to BizCover. Took 5 minutes. I compared a bunch of policies. I saved over $250.
So, no dramas?
No dramas at all.
There are literally no dramas when you go to BizCover, the business insurance specialists. Save time, money, and get instant cover at bizcover.com.au.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now. Macca's, I'm loving it moments. Grab a creme brulee pie for just $1.50.
Yes, drifted down for defence to make himself dangerous. Handball to Clark. Couldn't take the shot, but he does. Handball to Aish, who screws it back. He made terrific contact. And Fremantle have a second snap goal. Turned over to Young, he gave it to Henry. Improvised kick. Mundy, watch out! Pickett rapidly off the bench and got him high. Mundy plays it back to Pearce. A grubber! And a grubber, and it went straight to Bolton. You would not believe it. He can have two bounces and stroll into goal. That is a better gift than you'll get on the 25th of December.
I'm loving it moments for Macca's. Grab a creme brulee pie for just $1.50. Richmond by 2 points. Kane Corns, Nathan Jones.
Well, there's no doubt Fremantle have come with an attitude to mark handball receive. They played on from 31% of their marks, which is about 8% higher than what they have averaged for the year. And their kick to handball ratio is interesting as well. 48 kicks, 44 handballs, which is high to me. Like, it's a little bit of over handballing, but it's definitely when they look their best. For Richmond, well, they look their best when they're able to turn the footy over in the front half. They did that a couple of times, and certainly two of their goals, their 3 goals, came from turnovers directly. One was just an absolute clanger from Pearce, and the other was as a result of a really strong tackle from Cumberland. So, I mean, both teams are on terrific finals-like intensity in this game so far, Jonesy.
Yeah, it's been a really enjoyable game. It's probably everything we would have expected from both teams, and that's obviously shown to us by the scoreboard at a very minimum. So it's an enjoyable contest, and looking forward to seeing how it pans out.
5-1 centre clearance is Richmond's way in that first quarter.
16-10 inside 50s for Safety Steel Sheds. The bounce to start the second term for Tyre Power. It comes the way of Brayshaw. High ball inside the 50. Bounced in front of Taberner, who hasn't been a factor yet. Flostone onto the loose foot. He gave it to Grimes. Risky hand pass to Ralph Smith. He got it away to Flostone and now to Miller, who has been influential down back. He hands it off to Broad. Finds McIntosh on the way out. The Tigers look to build around the city wing. McIntosh had a look, paused, assessed it all, and then let fly for half forward. Good strong kick. Nankervis pushed in the middle of the back and was allowed to claim the mark.
The umpire was just a bit blindsided. He's out of position, the umpire. Didn't have a great view of it. Could have gone either way, but Nank's first real moment in this game. He had one big tackle, but in terms of influence possession-wise, he looks like he's going to have a shot. Surely not.
From 55 metres out, no, he dinks the ball out into the pocket. Didn't give them much of a chance. Ryan flies and taps it over the boundary. Don't think that deft touch is really Nank's go.
No, I wouldn't have thought. This is where they're at their best, Richmond, though. Because Fremantle have the extra number here, so you'd expect them to win this clearance, but Richmond are so well set up behind the ball.
Soldo and Darcy go to work. Darcy taps it down to Akers. Kick was risky. It found Sarong high on the way out. McIntosh came back. Spoil made by Tarrant, but Henry, lively, gathers the footy, spreads it to Young. Forward to the plate of Frederick. Hot. Quickly off to Henry again. Out the far side where the Dockers have got numbers. Logue uses those numbers. Hand pass to Taberner. Not a great kick, although Fife got to the front of Broad at the moment of decision and takes the mark.
Probably the best he's looked down forward. Loved his movement there. He doubled back, got in behind Broad, and then forced his way to the front. Terrific mark.
Henry was influential as well because they were outnumbered, but they were good enough to bring the ball from the quick kick from the stoppage, which they were always going to win. And then Henry got involved once or twice. Grimes pressed really hard, but they were good enough to get around him, and that's what created the one-on-one for Fife inside 50.
Chance for the Dockers skipper to hit the scoreboard. 48 metres out. Fife's kick won't score. Soldo flies across the front and concedes a rushed behind.
I think what's really noticeable, Kane, I reckon you touched on it early in the game, is in open field, Freo looked quick and difficult to defend, and Henry's one of them, but there's a handful of them when the ball's in motion.
Slick.
Yeah. Don't they?
Part of the fascination with Fife playing forward. He's just not a great kick.
That was an awful set shot for goal,
Out to Broad, and they play the width again, the Tigers to the city side. Contest between Cox and Nankervis at the front. Cumberland habitually gets to the right place. Lovely handball to Soldo, and then he tried to give it back to Nank. I think they got a little bit carried away with their capabilities there. And a good tackle though from Soldo, and Cox did well to improvise and get a little dinky kick away to Brayshaw. Got it back, and then hoiks it to the wing. Henry was going to fly, but overpowered by Flostone. Thumped it back inside 50. Loose ball to be won. Baker versus Clark. Clark did well to break even. There's Cumberland again, beavering away this time with a tackle to keep it inside 30 metres from goal.
They are just a bit big. I mean, Soldo handballing to Nank and missing. It's clumsy at the moment. There's merit to it, and I like the boldness of it, but they're just a bit big.
From the tap, it comes back to Wright. He hacked the kicker, got partially run down. Prestia centres it. Bolter's got a good look at this. Probably got in each other's way, he and Edwards, but he pounced on it, Bolter, and snapped a goal. He is the most agile of the three, and he shows it there and then, and kicks Richmond's fourth goal, and they now lead by 7 points and have the edge in this one. 4-5-29 to 3-4-22. Macca's warm up with an apple pie at Macca's.
What's interesting for mine is watching the Tigers try and catch the Dockers out the back, and particularly when they are going long down the line, they generally have someone spit forward with a long handball and really trying to stretch the Dockers' defence. And we have got question marks on that tall forward. I think the one dynamic is Bolter, who's quite agile and quite capable at ground level. But it's an interesting contest at the minute. It's a 1-2 punch from both teams, and it's going to be an interesting game as it plays out.
An arm wrestle.
Play of the day, visit mildura.com.au. At the restart in the middle, Brayshaw comes spinning out. Hand pass to Sarong. Kicks to full forward. Fife.
What a grab.
Led up against the opposition captain and just clunked the footy.
Oh, that's such a great skill to have. Treadray is the best I've ever seen. I don't want to sound like an old guy up here in the box tonight, but Treadray flat out running full speed, the best I've ever seen. That's just a skill. That's why centre bounce is so important. Brayshaw's actually won first possession twice already in this second term. We know Richmond started 5-1 in that area. Fremantle have won 2, but it was the outlet to Sarong, the penetrating ball inside 50. Does he kick it? I think he does.
He really needs to fight for himself and for his team, and he does. Drills it right through the middle. They peg it back to a point. It's a second centre bounce clearance goal for the Dockers thus far. 4-4-28 to Richmond 4-5-29 on the Macca's scoreboard. Grab a creme brulee pie for just $1.50.
He's had some really good moments tonight. Like certainly around the contest, he's had some, a tap on or the really strong handball here or there. But the last 2 marks inside 50, if they can get him firing like this for the back half of the year, then look out when Lobb comes back in and he can be your third, and then he can play 20-30% on ball. But just outstanding centre bounce work. Brayshaw was really clever. The outlet to Sarong, and then the penetrating ball from Fife started deep in the goal square and just led flat out and clunked it and went back and finished, most importantly.
Stellar stuff from the Freo captain, not so stellar from the umpire.
How many of them tonight? That's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Just quietly, that last piece of play was as pure AFL footy as you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's a great game of footy. It's a ripper.
So Fife in the middle now, and the recall throw up, tapped by Darcy. Brodie fell over, took Short with him. Short back to his feet quickest though. Hand pass, speculative. Baker come out, hit it hard. Controlled it, gave it to Soldo. Back through the middle. Off the left boot, Short, angled the pass. Just the required distance to Revolt. Is he beyond here, or has he still got the distance in those old legs?
Baker's a good player at ground level. He just hunts the footy. He got that low centre of gravity. Was really important there. Won a tough footy in traffic. And Short made a good decision as well. Because you can run out to the right here with a stand rule, he's probably got the distance.
Point of the square. He lets fly. He thinks he's got the distance. It's dropped short near the behind post. So it was a little bit awkward for everyone down there. And the numbers multiply. Squeezed out by Nankervis, who went over the line for a throw-in.
Good result here. I mean, so now they set up. This is where they work it. Loston will be the one. He'll organise. A lot of pressure around the footy. We know the previous goal from Bolter came from a similar situation like this. It comes out, but then it comes straight back in.
Soldo versus Darcy. Soldo, hit and miss, really. Picked up by Sarong. Left foot kick to alleviate the immediate danger. Schultz backing back. Almost took the mark. McIntosh had claims as well. It proved to be too close to the line. We'll have a throw with Richmond's lead at 1 on the Macca's scoreboard. Warm up with an apple pie at Macca's.
He hasn't gone on ball with the ruck, has he, Nank? I'm watching his full forward right now. I don't think he's attended centre bounce yet.
Right.
At the throw in, Soldo reached around and won the tap down to Prestia, off to Graham, kicked it into his own man. So it's an awkward ball that Aish deals with well. Off to Fife, sharp hand pass back over his shoulder to Aish, but he was run down. Baker stopped him in his tracks. Ball it up.
So that's the difference. Richmond happy to quick kick from Graham, who kicked it into his teammate, really, whereas Fremantle are looking to handball out of stoppage.
Darcy pushes it in the direction of Brodie, but he was straight into the tackle of Sonsi. Try again. Tossed up without much hesitation. Tap comes the way of Fife. He does go the quick kick up to half forward, and it takes a Richmond turn. Flostone, his hand pass wasn't great. Sonsi played for the high contact, slipped away from it, up to McIntosh, into the middle for Soldo.
Well umpired.
Thought about giving the hand pass, but didn't.
Good umpiring.
Sideways to Prestia.
Well, they're out here. They're going to pick it over the top if they can go quick.
And Pickett, well, Broad didn't go there. He found a better option on the 45. It's to Rioli. 60 out from goal. Wheels out onto the right. It's going to land right at the goal square. Nank had a fly at it. Clark did a good job in the middle of that pack. Sweet fist through for a rush behind. It's the Tigers by 2.
Jack thinks he's still 25, and Nank doesn't quite know what to do.
Nank doesn't know what he's doing down there. Just showing that one again. From Mundy, the tackle on Sonsi. It was well umpired. I don't think he necessarily played for it.
No.
It's just that the tackle didn't actually go that high.
Ryan Cox is the target. It took 2 bites, but he drags it down. He almost handballed when he shouldn't. Graham was there. In the end, he goes wide. It's Akers from behind the wing. He kicks in the low direction, but Grimes was coming. He dropped the mark. and then he had to follow it up, and he was tackled by Logo, almost fell on his back. Sarong's hands are always good. Got it to Brayshaw and then to Akers. They crowd him out, and that is holding the ball.
Been good in that phase of the game all night, Richmond. I love their hunt around the contest.
They lead by 2. Kane Corns, Nathan Jones for Shaw Unify. Uniform experts.
He made up for the error, Grimes, because he read it beautifully. He was the one back, and we could hear him. He called his teammate out. He just dropped the mark, but followed it up brilliantly, as good players do, and forced a turnover.
Super short pass to Cochin, who goes as long as he can to Nankervis, and Soldo took about 3 down with him as he came stumbling in. And we're going to have a ball up now. It's a bit of a comic sideshow there, Ruckman, isn't it? Playing out of position. It's at half forward.
14-5 clearances around the ground. Now, Richmond aren't worried about clearances, though, but Fremantle once again win another stoppage.
They do conclusively. Darcy to Akers. Well, when you've got 3 ruckmen in the team, you'd hope you'd be able to at least break even at the clearance.
But this is why. So, yes, they don't get the number on the stat sheet with the clearance, but they win it back anyway. So they don't necessarily care what it says as long as they're winning the footy back, which they've done a number of times.
Rioli places it for Flostone, still on the wing. Now, is it the go-forward time yet? Yes, it is.
All they are.
Oh, no, he changed his mind as he was challenged, and he plays it all the way back to Tarrant. So he gave him about 15 metres on the switch. Chisel kick forward was a pretty good one from Tarrant to Cochin. Now it is go time. Yes, it's driven in by Miller. It was a hot ball for Baker. He took the mark, and by the time he took it on the second bite, he was back outside 50. So he's too far out to score a goal, you would think, and by his body language. But didn't he play it well? Miller has been able to sneak down inside the forward 50. He has 1 AFL goal to his name. This would take his very best.
You touched on it, Kane. They are the best team in the league at forward half intercept possession, turning that into the score. And exactly that off the Rioli turnover before. Now they're having another shot here.
Another tall tiger. He's a defender. He's at 198 centimetres. He's Ben Miller. He's kicking. It's going across the face of goal. And Darcy just finished the job off by fisting it over the line and out of bounds.
It's been classic Richmond, really, at their best. That's what they were so good at. They almost gave up stoppage wins to create the rebound off those forward half intercepts, and they're at it again tonight.
And Curvis is going to contest the ruck deep forward. He flicked it to the teeth of goal. Nobody there, though. Young arrives first. Kick was smothered. Great pressure from Baker, who then lays the follow-up tackle on Aish and drags him out over the boundary.
Well, he's an important player, Baker. I mean, you play him anywhere, so it's like, what do you do? But when you see that, Damien Harbert calls that Richmond man behaviours. That's one of the ones that he would love. Full-length smother, lock the ball in your forward 50, set up again.
So as a result of the forward pressure, what can they make of it? I think it hit Bolter's boot in the ruck. Brayshaw punches it away. Walters is serving in defence. He's in the tackle the whole way. I think he's shot, holding the ball.
Yeah, he ducked. Good umpiring. I reckon they've almost nailed it. Perhaps one early on Bolton, don't you reckon?
It's a bit early to go with that.
Well, it's a
small sample size. So good.
43. What is it? 43 minutes of footy. That's a solid amount. And there's been a couple that have been 50-50, but that was spot on. He's tried to duck in and out of the tackle.
And that was it. He tried to duck in and out of it. It was a weird action because he was in the tackle of McIntosh straight away. It was going to be a ball up, except then he sort of tried to wriggle his way clear. He lowered himself.
If he'd done his old thing, he would have risen the arms.
Yes. As a result, McIntosh has the shot at goal from 49 metres out. Right foot drop punt, unerring in its accuracy. And Richmond take full toll from it. 8-point leaders. 5-6-36. Fremantle 4-4-28 on the Macca's scoreboard warm-up with an apple pie at Macca's.
So the Baker smother is interesting. Like you probably don't get that opportunity if not for that smother, because who knows would have happened. So you restart again with the stoppage, and then it goes out and Walters gets done. So that, I mean, they're just on. They're doing. I mean, both teams have been really disciplined performance. Even back to sort of Darcy on the line, just in the right spot for a ruckman. Just both of these teams are really switched on, and the winner, it's going to be a really strong performance because you know you're getting challenged from the opposition. But I haven't seen as good a tackling performance across the board from any one game this year than what I've seen tonight.
Play of the day is for visitmildura.com.au. Kings of Leon are ready to rock Mildura Saturday, October 29. Centre bounce, Logue doing the ruck work, got the tap down, but backing out and into the side was Bolter. It's a low grubbing ball which went to Clark, and he got the handball to Sarong quite smartly, and then to Brody, just set him up. Terrible handball batted away by the Tigers. Oh, Cumberland threatened to take the footy away. Instead, Brayshaw handball to Brodie under immediate pressure. And there's a free kick.
Throw was paid by the out-of-zone umpire.
Just over handballing now. It has looked good at times, but clearly not coping with the pressure. And give it to your teammate. It's your problem now once you get rid of it, but that's a team problem. So they need to address that and fix up the kick-to-handball ratio.
It's going to Cumberland, who bombs away. Revolt had eyes for the footy, but again, it was a kick that probably wasn't perfectly placed, made it the job of the defenders much easier. Strong kick back into play. Schultz had to readjust his positioning, and he was able to do that, and he takes the mark on the inward bound ball and then goes short to Chapman. 5-7-37 Richmond, 4-4-28 Fremantle. Tight Friday night for Makita. 15 minutes into the second term.
Safety still sheds. Stat sheet reads 64 kicks, 60 handballs, whereas Richmond 88 and 57. So that balance is much more in line with where it needs to be. Richmond will just feast off the over handballing and the opportunities it'll give to turn the footy over.
Chapman, Ryan, Brodie, too short for Brayshaw, so back to Brodie after the mark wasn't paid. Kick down the line. Froston probably should have marked. He laid the tackle and dispossessed Logue. Sarong has a go. Aish ran into Tarrant. All these tackles are sticking. And he's out of play. Only a broken tackle in sight, as Kane referenced. And the early promising signs of the Dockers are a little way off now. See what they can muster. Bolter got himself to the front of the throw-in. Cochin took a little bit of territory knocking it on. Logue, though, gets there for the Dockers. Hand pass to Chapman to Aish, now to Young from centre field. He went across the square, which wasn't a bad choice. Walker takes the mark. He broke to play on, then changed direction, sets it up deep. Didn't give them a great chance. Banfield brought it to ground. Rioli, though, was able to snaffle it. Hand pass to Baker out into the pocket. Broad paddled it all the way over the boundary. They did it in a satisfactory manner to avoid giving up the free kick.
Yeah, Banfield was good. Outnumbered 2-1 in the air. Clearly looked like it was going to be a Richmond mark. He did enough just to get to the front and bring the ball to ground. They've got a spare behind the ball, and they just mix it up, Richmond. They do it so well.
40 out from the Dockers' goal. Brodie rove the tap. Hand pass to Walters. Again, he's in the tackle the moment he took possession.
He doesn't quite know what to do, Walters.
No.
It's Young at one end as the spare. And for Richmond at the moment, it looks to be Miller, but they're just trying to negotiate. They want someone a bit more experienced than Miller as a loose behind the ball.
Lowe did a great job. A tap down to Brayshaw and then to Henry. Tried to dance his way clear of Short, who wasn't buying, and the Tigers went it back through Preston to Edwards to Baker. Graham tried to barge through with only partial success. Loose balls won back by Fremantle. Young feeds it to Brayshaw, return the favour. Young will kick this up into the forward pocket. Anyone can take a mark. Taberner! No, not paid. Didn't have it long enough. Five put a good tackle on. Tarrant's going to be tackled straight away. Handball back to Broad. He keeps it in. He gave it to Rioli. Camped in the back pocket. Reluctantly Broad. Well, he didn't really want it. He just stabbed it forward, but it was to good effect. It somehow found it to Graham, and the Tigers have got clear. Yes, they have. Long handball, productive one. It got from Cochin to Rioli. Half forward as they power on. Nank had no idea what to do. He didn't fly. He was outmarked, and now it's Freo's ball.
Cox to Clark on the counter-attack. They're queuing up in the middle. Sarong and Brayshaw got in each other's way. Brayshaw hand passed it to Brodie, who worked it on to Young. So no damage done. The Dockers bring it inside 50. Kicks to nobody in particular. Miller made the spoil. Ralph Smith knocked it on, and Short back to Miller and off to Edwards. This is thrilling end-to-end footy. Kick up the wing where Revolt is on his own. Gathered the awkward half volley. Spread it on to Baker. Kicks the Tigers to full forward. Nankervis has decided to push and try to clear the way this time. Akers into a dead end. Ball fell the way of Chapman though. Back to Cox and clear to Clark, who wears some high contact from Revolt. And it'll cost him 50.
No.
It was a clumsy attempt to spoil.
It wasn't late, but it was clumsy. I mean, you've seen those not paid this year, and Fremantle needed that. They just have been defending time and time again. Feel like a real pivotal moment, that drop from Taberner, as Fremantle are going to go here, Hutto.
And he plays on with a handball to Clark, who could almost go the journey. Bombs at 70 metres, top of the square. Everyone tries to readjust. Did they touch it? Richmond say they do. And the goal umpire,
is it Roden?
David Roden, the former Tiger, He's going to tell the field umpire that he thinks it is a goal. He thinks it wasn't touched.
That's off his. It's off his wrist.
Tell though, isn't it?
I reckon it's brushed his wrist.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He doesn't get too many wrong, they'll D-Rod, but so it's touched by Tarrant. And score review for Spinal Ease pillows on sale now at spinalez.com.au. Kane swears by them.
Safety still shed stat. Bolton and also Rioli, Dan, haven't touched the footy this quarter.
It's a handy deflection. An 8-point lead for the Tigers.
Pickett.
Flonstone leaves the goal square and takes the territory on the kick in, and Curvis grappling, knocks it to ground. Baker's onto it, gives it to Prestia, kicks Richmond beyond halfway. Bolton takes the mark and links it up. Bolton on a thrilling run from centre half forward. It was all there bar the finish. He sprayed it so far that he missed the target entirely. It's out of bounds on the full.
Welcome Lynch back next week, you would think, Richmond. 5-7-37 to 4-5-29. Slow play this time from Freo. Walker to Ryan. And Henry, who, as Kane said, has made some nice moves tonight. Goes short here. Trust his right boot. He got it safely to Cox. Still operating inside defensive 50 for the moment. Now outside. Short pass to Brodie. So this is a more controlled approach by Freo. Run aground about now, though. It's long down the line. Towards the wing. Tabernar didn't get there. Is there a push? No, the mark was paid. Mark taken by Bolton. Went short for Edwards, but Brodie knew it was coming. Steps in and takes an excellent intercept mark. This could be productive. He plays on quickly. Stubs it short and he gets to Schultz just forward of the centre. No real height. Although Tabernar's pushed back into the 50 now. Tigers anticipated. 3 got there. After the spoil by Bolter, he hesitated. In fact, a no-look handball to short to keep it away from 5. And Clark did all the body work on Baker, then dropped the mark, so Baker had it on his own terms. Short to Bolton, jumped up over Chapman, flings the handball to Nankervis, ground to a hole, gave it back to Bolton. He kept on coming. They can't close the gap. He centres it, and he finds Ivan Soldo instead of going for the highlight kick from the pocket. And he'll have the shot from 25 metres out.
Well, it helps when he gets the foot in his hands. When they've had a night where they've butchered a number of opportunities going inside 50, 12 inside 50s to 7 in this quarter. A couple of them have been from Baker. You know, Nanks look messy, Bolters look messy at times, delivering the ball inside 50. He just makes good decisions. Running at full speed, you could see his mind ticking over. Well within his rights probably to have a shot, but good sides get their teammates involved. That was a great decision and better execution.
For a ruckman, he's actually not a bad shot for goal, Soldo, and I've completely cursed him as he put that right through the middle between the behind and the goal post.
We've lauded their tackling, both sides, but in this quarter, Richmond have really upped the ante. It's a result of Fremantle over handballing, but 17-4 tackles this quarter, Richmond's way.
And they continue to catch them out the back again in that phase of play. Just their ability to keep speed on the ball. They keep catching the Dockers out.
Richmond by 9. Long kick in the Pearce direction. He did well at ground level. He got the hand pass away to Mundy, onto Logan, then to Henry. Neat kick. Cut it out and foundation into the middle of the ground for Walker. He's got Akers over on the near side. Switch kick is a good one, and Akers without hesitation up to Frederick. Clark is on over the top. The pop kick heads there. It hangs for a long time. Clark took the mark just before all the pressure came. Sonsi knocked him over, but the mark had been taken.
He worked hard for that. And just the kick inside from Henry, you caught it, just opens everything up. But this is where it's been breaking down for them, and Richmond have been really switched on in this area. That breaks down.
He was too far out around the perimeter to Ryan, and an awful kick.
He was on
off by Baker.
Yeah, Brodie was on. He just didn't execute the kick.
So again, they come up with nothing, Fremantle. They're down by 9 points. Baker out to Rioli at halfback. They are set up for a switch, but probably couldn't get through the pieces to get there. So Rioli stays on the broadcast side of Marvel. Kick to a contest down the line. It's been claimed by Cox. It might have been touched by 1 or 2 on the way through, but Certainly was able to grasp it. Kicks into centre field for Aish. So Fremantle looking for the right angle of attack. Aish gave up on the short pass to Brayshaw that was there, and flying by comes Walker. Hit the accelerator, took the yards, kicks it into the pocket. It's short of Darcy. It finds its way to Walters. Now would be a good time. And he slides it through for a goal.
Cracking finish.
He's had a devil of a time this term, Michael Walters. But he gets the goal late that his team needed, and it is a goal of the game for Host Plus. That's a plus. 5-5 to Richmond, 5-8 with 2 minutes to play.
I liked Walker, Jonesy. Like, he just made something up.
Yeah.
Because they've been delivering the footy too deep. So if you kick the footy from too far back, it just allows Richmond to defend. But he took the extra ground, took a risk, and got it. Wasn't perfect, but got it over the back.
I think to the Tigers' credit, they've been able to slow Freo, and it's been very stagnant as they enter inside 50. And as you said, just breaking a line and putting some flow and speed on the footy just created something out of nothing. And, you know, that's all that a player of Walter's calibre needs, and he takes the chance. An important goal.
Out of touch, Grimes, isn't he? Just making a few very uncharacteristic errors.
Centre bounce, Soldo got the tap, the umpire went down, Sarong got up, handball to Brayshaw, he's got Ace running hard to his left, receives the handball, now the entry, it's a low one into the 50, came out of the hands of Banfield, he wore some contact, but got the footy protected. Mundy back to Sarong, turns inside and gave up some ground to find Young. So they'll look to enter the 50 for a second time. A minute 45 on the Makita Rulli backyard clock. He pops it up, high into the pocket, Fife, back, coming hard, Miller, couldn't mark, he did whack it clear though, gave it to Grimes and then to Bolton. Can this become something? Cumberland posts up, gave it to Pickett, left foot kick, just scrambled forward, Bolton versus Ryan first play, and he can turn his body and get into the clear and kick to the wing, and now Ace can take it, and will it quickly go Freo's way?
They can hit hard on the counter-attack, hand pass to Young, decisive kick, Banfield had a fly, Walters ran interference.
To Richmond.
Yeah, Walters got that all wrong because Banfield was really in a good spot, and he's given the free kick up to Miller.
Ryan was good. I love the kick from Pickett. He had nothing, so don't sit it in the air so Richmond could intercept, so Freo could intercept the ball, kick it along the ground, but Ryan was really good defensively.
Miller pumps it down the wing, Revolt outnumbered, Pearce gathers, kept the hands free, hand pass to Clark. Off to Darcy, back Clark, Cochin stood in the way, disrupted the play, Cumberland off the ground. An enterprising kick off the ground. Walker's there first, but he's in a tackle. It's slung away to Pearce, who took them on. He just got his hand pass away, and then Soldo barreled into Clark. He'll be wishing the ball had never come his way.
It's been so impressive all night.
Ball up in the centre as a result. Darcy has his way with Soldo, but the tap is taken by Sonsi. Off to Cochin, wide kick up to the 50. Now it's pitched and run. Chapman against Bolton. Chapman did well. Bolton was going to make him look like a dill if he'd flipped it up and over. But Chapman's kick on the way out is straight to Sonsi. So it's a cheap turnover. And a few seconds to make something of it. Sideways to Cochin, wasn't 15. Brayshaw brought him down, back to Sonsi. Flop kick inside, no good. Young cuts it off. He takes off.
Henry.
Fremantle probably haven't got the time. Kick to open space. It pitches and runs, and the siren beats the play. Richmond by 3 points at the main break, having led by 2 at quarter time. 5-8-38 Richmond. Fremantle 5-5-35. Goal kickers are singles both sides of the sheet. Revolt, Bolton, McIntosh and Cumberland. While for the Dockers, Logue, Fife, Walters, Aish and Brodie. Quick thought from Kane Corns.
Just a good game of footy, isn't it? Pressure up from both teams. Feels like a finals-like atmosphere. Yep, there's been some errors, but that happens in good games. There's going to be some tired players, I reckon, in the second half, Jared, so the play might open a little bit more.
There's such interesting tactics at play that the two ruckmen for Richmond look like a couple of drunks at the front bar. You can't take your eyes off them. Doesn't look like it's going to amount to anything quickly, but who's to say?
Exactly, and the class at times has just risen. So Fife's class, Bolton's class, Brayshaw, and those players have really stood out. tonight and made a difference. So tactical battle is on. Let's see if they make any adjustments either side at halftime.
And the tackling has been hot for Ream. More than 80 years manufacturing in Australia. We'll check in on scores around the grounds. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. It is halftime Friday night footy on AFL Nation. The Macca's scoreboard warm up with an apple pie at Macca's reads Richmond 5-8-38 to Fremantle 5-5-35.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for McDonald's. Warm up with an apple pie at Macca's.
Get the power of safer tyres before you go on holidays. A road safety message from Tyre Power.
Having out-of-balance tyres causes uneven tread wear and an uncomfortable ride. You'll also cop excess wear on your suspension and other parts of your vehicle. If you experience severe vibration while driving, especially highway speeds, get your tyres dynamically balanced at your local Tyre Power store straight away.
Get the power of expert advice. Get the power of Australia's biggest independent. Tyre Power.
Get the power.
Looking for a flooring solution to suit your lifestyle? The Abode Hybrid Collection is both stylish and resistant to spills, stains, scuffs and water. Abode is available in a wide range of beautiful natural timber colours and styles, and its quality and ease of installation make it the perfect choice for busy households. Abode is only available from Choices Flooring, so visit your nearest Choices Flooring store or head to choicesflooring.com.au to see why Abode is the perfect choice for your lifestyle.
This is the sound of Julian's bargain price vacuum with deep express suction. This is the sound of Julian trying to fix his bargain price vacuum, which infuriates him deeply. Yes, this is the sound of bargain regret. When it comes to the important stuff, like insurance, don't risk it. Go to Amy instead, who offers great value cover you won't regret. Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by AAI Limited Trading as Amy, read the PDS at amy.com.au. TMD also available.
From first time browsing to big time arousing, Sexyland is all about fun. We have Australia's biggest range of sexy costumes, couples toys, fun gifts and games for adults. And our team of fun specialists are always here to help in store and online. Sexyland 11 stores open 7 days until midnight in Melbourne and Geelong, or shop online and get 2-hour delivery.
Take me now, I'm coming. Take me now, Sexyland.
Jetfire heaters from the makers of trusted Australian brand Spitwater are highly efficient, robust and very portable. Industrial, LPG and diesel-fired space heaters. Jetfire heaters come with a fully automatic safe ignition, providing instant reliable heat and are Australian Gas Association approved to the latest safety standards. With distribution, sales and service centres located in Brisbane, Sydney, Albury, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth, and authorised dealers in all major centres throughout Australia. Call 1-800-SPITWATER now or visit spitwater.com.au today.
Jono, wear your safety boots. In the Staria load. Hard hat, high-vis vest. In the Staria load. Listen, I know you're used to feeling protected in the Staria load, but that's only useful when you're inside the van, mate. Hyundai Staria Load is the only commercial van that has both ANCAP 5-star and Platinum safety rating. And from just $47,990 drive away for ABN holders, now's a smart time to buy. T's and C's apply. Visit hyundai.com.au/offers for details. Imagine that. Hyundai.
Footy is made up by lots of bite-sized plays. A good pass here, a nice kick there, maybe snaffling possession. But adding up all of these bite-sized plays can get you big wins. It's the same with Snaffle. Get stuff you want now and pay it off with bite-sized payments. Now that's a huge win. Snaffle. Grab a Snaffle wallet today at snaffle.com.au.
Terms, conditions, fees, charges and lending criteria apply. Credit provided by Walker Stores Proprietary Limited. Australian Credit Licence 393023.
Safety Steel. Time to get real.
Tim Watson here. Can you remember as a kid painting goals on the side of your dad's shed and shooting for goals day after day? Well, they built them tough back then, just like the sheds from Safety Steel. For prefab steel kit buildings and custom designed sheds that are tough and durable, search Safety Steel. For your dream shed, search Safety Steel.
Safety Steel. Time to get real.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now. Macca's, I'm loving it moments. Grab a creme brulee pie for just $1.50.
Bolter's got a good look at this. Probably got in each other's way, he and Edwards. But he pounced on a Bolter and snapped a goal. He is the most agile of the three. And he shows it there and then.
He gave up on the short pass to Brayshaw that was there, and flying by comes Walker. Hit the accelerator, took the yards, kicks it into the pocket. It's short of Darcy. It finds its way to Walters. Now would be a good time. And he slides it through for a goal. I'm loving it moments for Macca's. Grab a creme brulee pie for just $1.50. Richmond 5.838, leading Fremantle 5.535. Our view from the Coates Hire commentary box. Coates, we're more than higher. We're equipped for anything. High quality game, 5 goals apiece at the main break. As we delve into the halftime floor show for Choices Flooring, hybrid flooring from Choices Flooring.
The Choices Flooring Halftime Floor Show. Choices Flooring's Abode Hybrid Collection. The water-resistant flooring choice.
What do you think overall, Kane, in what we've seen as the two coaches would assess high-pressure, low-scoring quality game?
Yeah, and there's a finals-like feel to the game, and certainly I just admire the intensity that it's been played with and the brute physicality. It's about as physical as a modern game can really be. I think the umpiring's been terrific. I think they've let the players play, and certainly they're really trying to get after each other. Contrasting styles a little bit in terms of the way that both teams are moving the footy. Fremantle clearly had a mode to work their way through Richmond's pressure with handball, and at times, yep, it's worked and they've had their opportunities, but at times it hasn't as well. So I just wonder whether they'll be a little bit more methodical and less chaotic with the ball in the second half, and something that you can adjust in a way, but you don't want to overcorrect. So you don't want to come out and say, oh, it's all kick and it's no handball. So that's always the balance for coaches. When you tell players one thing, they take it to extreme. So I'll wait and see. In the end, on the stats wrap for Safety Shield sheds designed to save, built to last, the kick to handball ratio for the Dockers is 103 and 89 handballs. So they've been really persistent with that, and it's got them caught unstuck a little bit. They've been strong around the clearances as well, but Richmond not too fussed about that. They've been good enough to win the footy back, and they dominate the inside 50 count, plus 9 inside 50s, and have certainly had their opportunities, but haven't been as clean going inside as they would have liked. So it really is an arm wrestle, and two contrasting styles being played out in front of us.
The tackle count, Richmond 34-22. The uncontested marks, Richmond 51-38.
Yep.
And the contested possessions are split 63 apiece. The one differential in that is the inside 50 count. So Richmond 31-22. The Amy Clanger, who covers Clangers, Amy does. Alex Pearce is going to win this tonight, and it is one of the all-time season Clangers.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you play on Friday night, and Amy is a sponsor across a number of platforms, including ours, it gets replayed a lot. So yeah, he turned the footy over, stubbed his toe, needed to replace his divot, and Shea Bolton had the walk-in goal.
Australian made Smart Pay. It's important to buy Australian right now.
I must admit, I did like Fyfe's little touch to Schultz in the first quarter. It was in traffic, just a deft little touch, and it's perfectly summed up by a man who's played a lot of footy.
Support Aussie-made products. The injury update for victorsports.com.au. All clear. Nathan Broad left the ground in the opening term with an ankle injury, went down to the rooms but returned to the field of play and has looked uninhibited since. Unmissable moments for Drinkwise. Choose to Drinkwise.
Well, I like the Miller tackle on Fyfe. So the game to me has been, tackling's been the feature. There hasn't been a lot of high-flying marks. Been some nice goals. Walters kicked a nice goal. Ace certainly kicked a nice goal, but it hasn't been a highlight reel game, but it's been a physical game. So the tackle from the 7-gamer on the 2-time Brownlow medalist was unmissable for me.
And there's good competition for the MEGT Rookie of the Day. MEGT, your local apprenticeship experts, call 13 MEGT today between Cumberland and Miller.
Yeah, I like Cumberland though. So he's had 10 touches, he's kicked a goal, he's had 4 score involvements, 6 contested possessions, and he's been an issue for Fremantle. They've been a good 10 possessions. A lot of those have led to attacking forays, and he looks comfortable absorbing pressure and making good decisions, and a beautiful ball user by foot with penetration.
MEGT, your local apprenticeship experts. I suspect, so Richmond's forward line is as they had set it up. This is their plan. They've had a look at it for a half. They don't have a whole lot of flexibility in their setup.
No.
But you would be starting to just ponder the question, is there a different look that might be more effective than what's been there so far?
So I was thinking about that during the second quarter. They have taken 7 marks inside 50-2, so they have had opportunities, and it's more that last kick that has let them down. Personnel-wise, like, that's why they've started Baker forward, because he gives you that agility and that pressure, and hopefully the ball use, although he hasn't used the ball that well, can he maybe go a bit more on ball, and Shea Bolton spends a bit more time as a genuine forward. It's a really tough balancing act for them. Can Edwards go forward? I don't know. That there are ways that they can manoeuvre a bit of a smaller forward line, but then that means one of them's going to have to play on the bench, and it sort of throws your rotations out. I suspect they've had a plan all week. They're comfortable with it. They'd be happy that the scoreboard is in their favour, and they'll go again with a similar lineup.
That's the halftime floor show, thanks to Choices Flooring's Abode Hybrid Collection, the water-resistant flooring choice. You can kick that around with Nathan Jones in a few moments' time. Kane Corns and Nathan Jones, our experts in the Coates commentary box for Coates. We're more than hire, we're equipped for anything. The scoreboard at halftime, Richmond 5-8-38, leading Fremantle 5-5-35.
A sports news update for Fuchs Lubricants, proudly Australian-made lubricants.
Aussie Talia McGrath has earned her 4th Player of the Match award in as many appearances for Australia in T20 cricket as the Aussie women cruise to victory over Ireland. The win is a confidence booster for the team ahead of their first Commonwealth Games match next Friday. Dustin Martin will remain on the sidelines for the medium term, with Richmond confirming he has suffered a setback in his recovery from a hamstring strain. Tour de France leader Jonas Vingegaard is being praised for his sportsmanship after waiting for defending champion and main rival Tadej Pogacar to catch back up after crashing. And Melbourne United assistant coach Justin Schuller says the signing of Isaac Humphries softens the blow of losing Jack White to the NBA.
Isaac coming on board is definitely a huge signing for us. We just can't wait to get him into our building and get working with him.
That's the latest in sport. I'm April Austin. Fuchs Lubricants, Australian made with German technology that pays back.
Listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now.
First day of my new business, insured by QBE. Cue the lights. Cue the first customers.
Hello.
Cue the morning rush. Cue the unavoidable. Cue the call to QBE.
Hi, sorry.
Cue the quick response.
We'll get that sorted for you.
QBE Insurance on cue for thousands of small businesses before and after. Search QBE SME or talk to your broker today.
See qbe.com/au for eligibility, the PDS and the TMD to decide if this product is right for you. The product issuer is QBE Insurance Australia Limited.
I've seen all sorts of sheds in my time, but if you're after a shed, you'd better get moving because the price of steel is heading up. Best Sheds is a family-owned business that have the best sheds with a 20-year manufacturer's warranty. They stand by the quality and durability of their sheds for your peace of mind. So come on, team, let's hit the sheds before we get hit by the price rise. Best Sheds, 100% Australian-owned and manufactured. Visit bestsheds.com.au.
Connect with Beaumont Tiles and grow your business. Go to iCanWin.com.au. You could win a $25,000 advertising boost to take your business to the next level, supported by Beaumont Tiles. Builders, renovators, tilers, enter now. iCanWin.com.au.
Which oil keeps your business moving? Farmers and fleet managers, they know. Construction crews and car mechanics, they know. And you know. Valvoline, the original engine oil.
Spitwater, built tough and ready in Australia for 40 years with a brand new look and the same rugged reliability. Right now, take advantage of the ATO instant tax write-offs for business. That's instant clean, instant tax write-off, instant job well done. With distribution, sales and service centres located in Brisbane, Sydney, Albury, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth, and authorised dealers in all major centres throughout Australia. Call 1-800-SPITWATER now or visit spitwater.com.au today.
Safety steel, Time to get real.
Tim Watson here. Can you remember as a kid painting goals on the side of your dad's shed and shooting for goals day after day? Well, they built them tough back then, just like the sheds from Safety Steel. For prefab steel kit buildings and custom designed sheds that are tough and durable, search Safety Steel. For your dream shed, search Safety Steel.
Safety Steel. Time to get real.
If you've come home to find your property has been damaged, call 131 444.
If you've had something stolen from your car, call 131 444.
If you've lost something or found something valuable, call 131 444.
If you want to register a party or let us know you're going away on holiday, call 131 444.
So save 131 444 to your phone for when you need the police but not the sirens. For more information and for online reporting, visit police.vic.gov.au.
Authorised by the Victorian Government, Melbourne.
Bendix EV hybrid brake pads are designed to meet the changing needs of EV braking systems, ensuring a low environmental impact whilst delivering low dust and quieter operation. Cleaner wheels, longer brake disc life, and Bendix green titanium stripe technology for instant friction without the need for bedding in. Ask for Bendix EV hybrid brake pads at your next service. Bendix. Put your foot down with confidence.
Sustained performance in footy is more than just one great game. It's about playing consistently, game after game, season after season. Host Plus delivers strong performance over the long term, with top returns over 20 years. A top performing super fund over the long term, that's a plus.
Super Ratings SR50 Balanced Index, December 2021. General advice only. Consider the relevant Host Plus PDS at TMD at hostplus.com.au before deciding if Host Plus is appropriate for you. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
Search, compare Host Plus today.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now.
Richmond by 3 points at half-time. Anthony Hudson and Nathan Jones rejoin us. What are you thinking, Jonesy, at the main break?
Well, I looked before. There is one concerning stat. And as much as we've been quite positive about Freo's defence, Richmond are going end-to-end from D50 to forward 50 at 55%, which the AFL average is 21%. So it's significant. Their ability to be able to get speed on the ball quickly, pop from contest, create overlap handball and take the footy from end-to-end is hurting Freo. That'll be an interesting sort of side play to what ends up happening in the game. I think it essentially will be pivotal in terms of the result. If Freo can't get a handle on it and stifle some of that, I think Richmond end up winning the game. But if they are able to close down that avenue, because of Richmond's reliance on transition and forward half turnover, that essentially if Freo can stifle some of that, they dry up a huge score source for Richmond at the minute. So, and I think they're well and truly capable of that. It would be some minor adjustments and just some quicker decisions, particularly on the outlet, and close down some of that speed, and it's game on. But you know, whether Freo are capable of that, I think they are, and I think it makes for a really exciting second half.
So they're in position. Siren about to sound for the second half. The opening bounce will be for Tyre Power, your match day favourites for tyre safety. 38 plays 35, Hutto, as we get to the next instalment.
We do. Centre bounce about to take place. Same policy for the Tigers. Nankervis is in the goal square, which leaves Soldo in the ruck, and Bolter starts on the bench. That's the deployment of the big men. It's Darcy versus Soldo then, as we get underway in this third quarter. And it came off the head of Soldo. It's all getting a bit awkward. Darcy tried to smother. Sarong put his head down. The ball jarred out. And then Brayshaw pounced on it. The umpire is going to ping him for a throw. He comes up holding his head. And he saw in multiple ways because the free kick has been deemed to go to Prestia. Now Bolton went past and took Sarong down with him. That's been unwhistled. Kick from Prestia. Invites the forwards to lead up. And Curtis not quite sure how to do that. So it's back in the domain of the Fremantle defence. Off hands to Aishi. Kicks out to half back. Tigers got in each other's way. Flostone did enough to get it to the boundary, and we'll have a throw in.
Yeah, they're going to have to get Taberner involved in this second half, hardly sighted in the first, had that one moment with great body use at the top of the goal square, did everything but bring the ball down. So, you know, to kick just 5 goals in the second half, he's their main guy down there tonight. He's got to get busy.
Sarong works his way through the stoppage from the boundary throw in. Out the back to Young. Clever kick to Frederick. He's going to poke it into the centre square where Ryan has run on and Akers is out the near side. And he was in plenty of space. He takes the mark as Pickett just holds him up momentarily. Schultz is on the lead. It was a bit high. Rioli made the spoil. Schultz committed himself. Hand pass to Akers. Brushed away the tackle. Kicked off the instep. Awkward bouncing ball. Flostone did well. Attacked it. Gathered it. Hand pass to Pickett. Took his eye off it and fumbled. Akers is back in and under. Awesome contact. Umpire has a look. Ball it up, 50 out from the Freo goal.
They did it well, though. Fremantle had the ball in the middle of the ground. They went wide and slow, and then that allowed Vlosten to set up as he wanted to. Now, the kick, he didn't intercept the mark, but he played it really well until Pickett fumbled on the way out.
Tigers by 3. Swipe by Soldo. Down. Brody had first play in it. And now Frederick, and he's completely engulfed in a tackle laid by Vloster.
So Ryan behind the ball now, and the Richmond player trying to split them. So Young or Ryan free behind the ball, and let's see how that battle goes, because that means Richmond, as the ball trickles out about 30-45 metres out from Fremantle's goal, the battle between the spares. Is it Vlosten at one end, Ryan at the other, and who has the most impact?
Ball up became a throw, and as Kane alluded to, takes place 40 metres out from goal. Darcy got the tap. Tigers are ready, though, although Pickett has rolled over straight away in the tackle, and he can't get away from Schultz. It'll be another ball up a little closer to Freo's goal. 30 metres out now. Thrown up by the umpire. Solo got the tap to the back. Akers was ready for it, couldn't do much with it. Brody handballed towards the goal face, hoping for a bounce. Picked up by Vlosten. He threw it through for a behind, basically. The umpire ticks it off. And it's a minor to the Dockers, who are 5-6-36. Richmond 5-8-38. Mate, Australia's most satisfied NBN customers.
Kick-in was a sharp one. It found Short, who played it out to the left for McIntosh. Still inside the defensive 50. Physio's rushing onto the ground to attend to Nat Fyfe after he came propelling out of the previous contest. Long down the line to the wing. That's where the Tigers went.
He's coming
Baker
off.
And Revolt went to work. Sarong won the footy, though. Off to Aish and up to Frederick. It's not a great sign for Fyfe.
Doesn't look happy at all.
He was doing a few run-throughs earlier when he was off the ground, so...
Spitwater tough and ready. High ball up to the 50. The Dockers' approach didn't quite pan out. Rioli underneath. Hand pass to Prestia. Awkward ball on the wing. Revolt trapped it. Knocked it up to Baker. Gave it off to Cochin. Now they're out the back. Grimes is the loose man. He is onto it. Frederick tries to corral him unsuccessfully. Grimes tidied himself back goal side and plays the pass to Baker.
That was awesome.
Barishnikov into the building.
Oh, he sold the candy to no one in the end and did a beautiful pirouette and a nice little touch kick inside 50. It was that was beautiful play.
It was smart from Cochin as well, who just got the ball out the back, and you've said it a couple of times, just that Richmond's ability to get in behind Fremantle's defence, so whether their spare is getting sucked up too high up the ground and just looking to be offensive rather than just holding and being that wicket keeper like Richmond do so well.
Liam Baker angled to the left. He's missed to the left, and the Tigers lead it by 3 points, 5-9 to 5-6. Fyfe went straight to the rooms.
Yeah, it was hard to... Oh, Collier's coming on. I reckon he's done, Fyfe.
Yeah.
Clark's going to kick in. He tippy-toes out of the square and then kicks the half back. Taberner had his arm held, but play on is the call. Brody rockets it forward by hand, but picked up by Short. Curls it back. It's high in the air. Darcy, Soldo made their claims. It bounced. And then Sarong was tackled immediately. They set upon him. And it's a ball up at half forward. So Freo without their captain from here on in, we think. They trail by 3. Half forward for the Tigers is the location. Ball up straight to Sarong. Comes straight out of the tackle, and then Soldo gets felled. You could just about hear it crunch. And Ryan tackle another ball up. Thrown up again. Soldo and Darcy into their work. Soldo at the last desperate moment got the tap down. Short had to take a quick U-turn. He got it back to Flostone. Flings the handball in front of Graham. Walker challenged him. Now Flostone is beheaded. And the umpire either didn't see it Or maybe thought that he contributed to it.
It's definitely beheaded. That was a one miss. The second one. That one there was missed. Clumsy tackle from Frederick. Should have been a free kick.
That's an interesting one to study. Meantime, play resumes. Darcy got a handball to Brayshaw. He got it to boot without much thinking to the centre square. First on at Rioli. Handball back to Broad. Pops the kick wide for McIntosh. Looks up into the 50. There's nothing there, so he goes short instead. And Prestia takes the mark. He too comes to a standstill.
Once again, Freo win the clearance. As you said, Hutto, Brayshaw without any thinking just hacks it on the boot and they win it straight back.
Tigers trying to be patient but too forceful on the kick. A fumble from Frederick. He did knock it back and that gave Brodie and then Logue the chance. Eventually it's Frederick who kicks it back and wide to Ace. So it's lost its pure nature at the moment.
Switch out here with Akers if they go.
Short to Brayshaw. It's a slow switch but it could yet be effective.
Off to Ryan, sweeping hand pass to Cox. They can bypass Akers because Schultz has run into space in a more attacking position. Henry off the bench is going to receive the hand pass. He doubles back, can't get through. Hand passes to Schultz, who does get through, or just enough to get the hand pass away anyway. Clark from 52 set it on its way, missed out to the right. The Dockers are down by 2 on the mate scoreboard. Australia's most satisfied NBN customer.
Liam Henry just down to the boundary for Spitwater, tough and ready. Must have got a poke in the eye. He's going to go down as well, just getting checked out as well, but he doesn't look comfortable at all.
Couple of short passes. Flostone gets the longer kick up to the wing. Bolter fought the good fight, cutting across Ryan with energy for the Dockers. Got it to the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Collier is fully stripped now and ready to go.
Soft tissue it looked like for 5, didn't it? Like for them to be able to make the call straight away. Like without really checking him out. So
he was doing some ginger run-throughs in the first half. Now it's grabbed by Darcy. Got it to Brodie and off to Akers. Inside the 50. It's gone over their head. Danger for Tarrant. Rioli on the scene just at the right time. Gave it a Broad, who went short to Miller. Not paid the mark, but he'll get the kick anyway. Up to the wing. Bolter! Oh, he went early and he couldn't hang long enough, and his free kick and advantage paid. Oh, Akers had no idea what was coming at him. He just rushed the kick to boot in the nick of time. Gets it deep. Tabernar contested but didn't mark. Presser at the front in the right spot. To Flostone to Miller. And then back to Broad. He turned his back and then he said, no, I can go forward after all. Up to the wing again. Bolter had a fair piece of it coming through. Baker had to handball to get clear of the clutches, and Young was there for Fremantle, and then Ryan took it and kicked it across the ground, kicked it poorly, made an awkward situation for Pearce. The ball didn't misbehave, thankfully, and then he kicks to the wing. McIntosh played the footy. Ace trying to be a bit too cute, trying to be a step ahead, and McIntosh got it to safety. It's the Tigers by 2. It's just in a bit of a holding pattern at the moment.
I just wonder whether Fremantle need to have 6 forwards forward of the ball. I mean, just not working, allowing Richmond to have that spare behind. Yep, they're winning stoppage going inside 50, but they don't look threatening at all, and their key forwards not having any opportunity. Once again, they overhandball and lose this stoppage.
Yeah, Mundy went the hand pass, coughed it up. McIntosh to Prestia. Richmond inside 50. Revolt's got the field against him. Cox made the telling spoil all the way to the boundary. 9 goalless minutes to start the third term.
I certainly agree, Kane. I think they need to try something. I think what they're giving up is really hurting and playing into the strengths of Richmond.
Tigers have it in the left forward pocket at the throw-in. Soldo down to Edwards. Out the back to Sonsi. Yes! On the snap. He floats it home. And a soaring moment, his first in-league footy. The Tigers break the deadlock at the start of the third, and they set up an 8-point lead. 6-9-45 to Fremantle 5-7-37 on the mate scoreboard. Australia's most satisfied NBN customer.
Yeah, stoppage goals inside, forward 50, drive coaches mad. But they've been really good at having that outlet from the initial first possession that you win off stoppage. Players have been setting up for Richmond in really good positions, and Fremantle's forwards just didn't get up the ground to cover off on those wingers that were sitting back. On that occasion, it was Sonsi who finished in a game where finishing hasn't been a strength. That was a beautiful finish. Great composure, and didn't he love it? And rightly so.
It'll be a contender for Host Plus. That's a plus for the goal of the game.
Darcy's gone forward. Sorry, Hutto. Logue's in the ruck.
6:9:45 to 5:7:37. Bolton's onto it out of the middle. He was tracked down by Brayshaw. Kick affected, but it landed safely with McIntosh. Long kick to full forward. Bolter got a push.
Oh.
We saw it, and so did the umpire. Cox infringes, and Bolter will have the shot from 20 metres out of that.
I've let them go tonight. Vancouver's had one, and Pearce has gone down the rooms as well.
Hamstring, I think, for Fife. He's got it iced up.
It's a bit more to tough and ready. Pearce is down. Henry's off with a poke in the eye, and it feels like the floodgates are about to open.
Yeah, it does. Bolter just has to do his thing here from 20 metres out. He poked at it a bit. He's missed. He's missed the shot, left them off the hook again. And that's 1 goal, 1 for Bolter. It's 6 goals, 10 for the Tigers.
They kicked last week, 11:22.
Yeah, Freo 5:7:37. And that is on the mate. Australia's most satisfied NBN customers scoreboard.
It was to Young, who went sideways to Clark. Clears the defensive area. And Young looped around to be the target again. Not a lot to work with. So he pokes it back inside to Clark.
So we're about to find out, Jared, are they a genuine top 4 team? Because top 4 teams respond as they turn over
kick
again.
to Sarong. Fearful collision as 2 Tigers closed in. And there's a few the worse for wear in the aftermath of it. 2 Tigers strewn on the field. Short and Baker. The free kick went Sarong's way.
Baker's still down.
Plays it out to Mundy. Up to Brayshaw, who didn't mark, but Aish is onto it and he feeds it to Brayshaw. Back to Aish inboard, wants the speed. Kicks up to full forward. What have they got? Taberner. Spoil made on him. Bolter left it behind. Then he goes and gets the hand pass. He's put Edwards in a spot of bother in the pocket. Collier lays the tackle. Ralph Smith got run down by Taberner. Grimes played for the high and he got it.
Ooh, hello.
So that'll be an interesting replay. He's not a recidivist, Grimes, is he?
He's an occasional.
Oh, he 100% did it.
Yeah.
But Collier's tackle was high, I think.
Baker's up. He's tough. He's tough. But they're just winning ground balls in their defensive 50, Richmond. They've won that many. Fremantle have to even the numbers in their forward 50.
They're on their way out. It was a bit untidy, and it comes off hands and goes out of bounds.
At some point, they've got to get something out of Taberner.
Now the 5's off. I mean, what are their avenues to go? What other option do they have? Even Darcy's gone down there for a look.
Throw in, and Darcy gets the tap. It's at half forward. Picked up by Mundy and off to Henry. He handballs. I'm not sure that was the idea. Brayshaw's handball was disrupted. Walker's got company. Cochin cleverly wins it away and came up standing. Not a great handball though. Volleyed away by Clark to Sarong. Rush kick. Equal numbers. Chance. Taberner. This time he hangs on.
I think the difference is what you're saying, Kane. You know, Freo are giving up a lot, sending a number up to stoppage. A lot of the times Taberner's having to deal with the 2-on-1.
That time
and that we see a genuine 1-on-1 and we see him influence the game. Important kick here.
Oh yeah.
The reason they had even numbers was off the Cochin turnover. He did everything right, Cochin. He was magnificent, won a real strong contested ball and broke away. Hospital handball led to a spoil and a turnover, which gave them the even numbers.
We're right behind Taberner. 40 metres out was never a chance. Right across the front of goal and easy pickings for Tarrant to take the mark with some help from Grimes. Had a hankering to handball, which he does now to Broad. His handball was poor to McIntosh. Just absorbed the contact. Brayshaw won the footy. Played it back through Collier at the sub. Going to give them some spark. Handball to Henry. Tackle immediately. Just dropped it. And the umpire said, holding the man because he didn't take possession. The Tigers followed through on the tackle.
He is the perfect sub, Collier. He'll give him a bit down there, as he just did then.
Henry, 55 out from goal. Locked in against the boundary line. Kicks it up into the pocket. Tigers 3 in the air, but Logue, he almost outmarked them all. Taberner off the floor. Hits the top of the post. Wow, I don't think we're expecting that. 6:10, 46 to 5, 8:38. So they're just having a little bit of time in their front half, the Dockers, without capitalising. That might be about to change.
Prestia runs the Tigers out of defence from the kick in. It's long down the line. Soldo was impeded the whole way. Ryan never had eyes for the footy. Soldo's ball. Delivers to half forward. Bolts is his man. He's got 2 against. Young gracefully up over the top, Kane.
Gee, he's a good player. He doesn't have a weakness in his game. So strong early, tough, and then uses the ball really well on the way out.
Short kick to Mundy. And centre half back. He flares it out the far side. He carries to Chapman, who can give the hand pass to Clark and set him free. Kicks down the City wing. Poor kick. Didn't give Frederick a look. Delivered it straight to Grimes. Baker and Sarong are still in the game. They are tough players for Hardyacker. Legendary gear after the frightful collision.
Richmond from half back. Broad. Back to Miller, who could go to Tarrant, but he's instructed to go longer to the wing. There was just enough time and space to do that. And Short takes the mark in front of Young. Dumps it to half forward to a one-on-one. Bolter in front, great hands.
Great play.
Soldo drifts down into the goal square, and the Nank is down there as well. Now he's got Bolton just edging past to the right. They're on high alert with he's in the vicinity. So it's a centering ball. Top of the goal square. Cumberland is there on Nank again. Both hands around it, didn't mark. Picked up by Graham. Handball back to Edwards. Centres it rather than having a shot. And beautifully anticipated by Frederick. In between two Tigers, he takes the chest mark.
It's going to bring the house down if Nank actually grabs one. But he's had a couple of opportunities.
Frederick
hard hands.
Favours the City wing. It wasn't a good kick at all. Tough for Banfield.
Smart.
Oh, Mundy smashes it forward to Walters. He gave to Logue. There's so much space ahead. Walters fires out the handball. The freshest man on the ground, Collier. He screws the kick back for Tabernar. It bounces in front and away. And Tarrant, with all that guile and experience, knocked it to his own advantage. Kicked it Johnny Beckworth style to the wing. It stayed in play and actually taken over the line by Luke Ryan, so it couldn't be delivered anyway, and we'll have a throw in.
What were Kenny's words?
Yeah.
When are you going to have a go, Tabernar?
Because the kick was good from Collier, like it was a smart kick. He just doesn't look to be covering the ground, and when Tarrant is outrunning you, that's saying something.
No one against Nankervis. Hand pass found its way to Sauncey. Bowled over as he got rid of his hand pass. Nankervis has another go. Feeds the hand pass inboard to Baker. Squeezed the kick to half forward. Took a bounce. It threatened to get back for Soldo. Ryan diffused the situation though. Knocked it away to Chapman, who brings it out now to Walker. He balked the kick that was on to Mundy, got himself into a spot of bother and then kicks it to Mundy.
He realised.
Hard work at that.
They're all signalling for the switch across the face of goal. It would have taken an enterprising kick. Lowe dropped the kick but coming his way. Sauncey lobs it back near the 50. Walker beaten to it by Bolton, who ran into Mundy. Got it to his boot to avoid the penalty. Cox stood gathered. Hand pass to Sarong. Risky hand pass inboard. Clark brought down by Bolter. Umpire has a look high.
Tigers pressure's ferocious.
Yeah.
Lucky to get away with that, Freo.
Clark, he is in the club. But anyway, switches to the outer side and then goes short.
I think it was the other one. I think it was Baker's leg that got him in the head that the umpire paid for. They worry you though, don't they, here, Hutto? Like
Yep.
They just look like every time they're going to turn the footy over.
Possession away every time, aren't they, it seems. Brody takes the mark at centre half back. Sense of calm, perhaps. That's what's needed for Freo. Plays it wider to Ryan, but they're not really advancing because the Tigers are so well structured. He's just biding his time out. A bounce on the spot and then kicks it back to Cox. Try a different avenue. Wants to keep it away from Chapman because his opponent is Bolton. He kicked it longer to Walker. Nudges it up along the wing. So they made some progress, but Richmond have pushed all their numbers back over as Akers has a look on the horizon. There's nothing obvious other than long down the line of the ruckman. That's where he's headed.
Get under that.
And the Tigers knew it was coming. Logue might have to fly as well. Double-fisted Broad. Picked up by Walters. Hacked it forward. And Frederick eventually, unconvincingly, took the mark. Tigers claim it was touched. Falls on deaf ears.
Yeah, that was smart play there from Walters because he's gone, well, the long high ball was not going to work. Let's try a bit of chaos. So he kicked the hardest, flattest mongrel snap you've ever seen. And it was something different. It was one step, it was a floater, it was ugly, but it wasn't high, and it didn't allow Vlosten to sit under it and take another intercept mark. Incredibly smart from an experienced player.
Good news is that Pearce has returned taped up, so he's okay. Frederick, big shot for Freo. Didn't hit it well at all. It hangs limply away to the right and through for a minor score. So still, they're in this strange old zone in this game, and What have we had? One goal for the quarter.
Had some opportunities. Taberner twice. We had that one there. We had the low drop at the top of the goal square. So they've left 4 or 5 out there. Clark had a running shot that missed.
6-10, 46, 5-9, 39. Mate, Australia's most satisfied NBN customers.
Grimes controlling things down back. Experts for sure. Unify your team. Grimes takes his full allotment of time and distance and kicks in the Bolter direction. It cleared him. Mundy towed it to Walker. Hand passes it backward to Chapman, and now Mundy again as the Dockers look for the path ahead. Hand pass to Ryan, brushed away a tackle, but his hand pass was no good. Cochin cut it off, gives it to Pickett, kicks inboard for Revolt, took it on the first bounce, spreads it out the far side. McIntosh should mark and go. He marks and stops.
Over handball and turnover again.
Short pass to Flostone instead. Now to Graham, who looped around to offer a target. Hand passes to Ralph Smith. He kicks it into the man coming at him. Smother made by Cox. Collier picks up the footy. They all pick him up. Will be balled up near left half forward for the Tigers. The margin is 7 points in their favour on the Mate scoreboard. Australia's most satisfied NBN customers.
Thrown up now. City half forward flank. Tap down to Prestia. Richmond head inside the 50 with a tumble punt, which fell into the lap of Chapman.
Nice player, he is, Chapman.
Nice size, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and his composure, and he does things like that. Good sideways movement. The kick's poor, though.
Yeah, drops short, and Ralph Smith takes the mark. A juggler in front of Banfield. Chapman 193 centimetres. Oh, he went short to a contest. Mark not paid anyway. Play on. And they submit to each other, Mundy and Cochin, and it's a ball up. Everyone just moves a little down the ground because it's going to be a throw up on the wing. Darcy beaten to it by Nankervis, who's now rucking. Tapping, zigzagging his way through was Prestia. Rust onto the boot though. Henry had an opportunity which he missed. It's pinballs around. Nankervis is dragged down by Henry, the smallest man on the biggest, just about out there. Play on the call. It moves to the next tackling contest. And again, it's a 0-0 draw and another ball up.
Glad Jonesy's doing the 3-2-1 tonight. If you ask me who the best player on the ground is right now, I don't think there's any standout. Incredibly even individual performances from both teams.
Pickett glides into the stoppage, delivers to the 50. Pearce cleared the way and takes the juggling mark away from Bolter. He's got the strapping under the chin and around the head. He's got the ungainly sight with the man bun as well. Off to Sarong, brings it out the near side. Frederick flew over the top. Pickett did well, then got caught. Released the hand pass to avoid the penalty, but turned it straight over. Mundy to Walker, changed his mind, about to get run down, got it onto his boot. It'll land 50 out from goal. Lowe got one hand to it. Grimes underneath, waltzes the other way. Grimes won the tough ball. Hand passed it away to McIntosh. Pulls the kick down the side of the centre square. Fremantle favoured by an offhands. Chapman brought it inboard, up in the way. Sonsi in the way. Mundy ended up with it. Poor hand pass, picked off by Edwards. Revolt tumbles over. She's a bit of a mishmash in the middle of the field. Tipped around. Edwards to Revolt. Gets the kick in the Soldo direction. Out of position. Knocked to ground. Fremantle swoop on it. Walker releases it more decisively this time to Chapman and wore some contact.
He can't stop it now.
And Ryan just put his hand up and said no advantage on that late contact.
3 possessions later, he stopped it.
Yeah, it wasn't a free kick either. It was a fair bump from Soldo, ball in the vicinity. It hurt Walker. Take a breath, Jared, because it was pinball in the middle of the ground. Some of the ball use players not really coping with the pressure. Chapman's got to work on his disposals. As good as he is defensively, and one-on-one he's really strong. He's burnt the ball badly tonight, and it's cost his team.
7-point margin still. Ryan Long on the kick to the wing. Taberner vents 4 Tigers all had the same mindset. A fist forward to Cochin. He scrambled out a little kick. It's a cute one. Marked by Edwards. Half forward. Soldo is the deepest target. Joined by Bolter, who makes a more definitive lead. And then there's Revolt in the pocket. 2-foot jump, and that allowed Walker to smash it away.
Big couple of minutes late in the game. Goal here to Richmond. So deflating. Fremantle have had their opportunities, but haven't been able to do anything on the scoreboard. To concede one here at another forward stoppage would be a disaster.
Darcy versus Nankervis. To the front the tap goes. Juggled by Brayshaw. Ryan's kick was smothered. And so ends the third quarter.
One goal game.
One goal, 25-minute quarter.
And that is the Mate Scoreboard, Mate Internet and Mobile, award-winning Aussie service mobile plans from $20. Jonesy has the job as the player of the day, and we'll put it out on Twitter too so everyone knows who he chooses.
I need help.
For Whirlpool Kitchen and Laundry Appliances, it's 6:10.46 to 5:9.39.
Crucial moment for New Farm Australian through and through. The injury to Nat Fyfe. He's got the hamstring strapped with the ice. He's in the back row, so that's got ramifications not just for tonight, but obviously for the remainder of the home and away season. Richmond by 7 points on AFL Nation at three-quarter time.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Mate Internet and Mobile. Award-winning Aussie service. Mobile plans from $20.
I'm a chippy, which means I'm a craftsman. I'm a worker in nearly all weather. I'm a mentor and I'm a small business owner. But most of all, I'm a dad. Luckily, I'm insured by a mate. IMAR are the tradies, mate. So get a quote today, online, or call 13IMAR. They're the tradies, mate.
Let's IMAR! Oh, a good mark to Wilson. He plays on at full pace and kicks a beauty to Thomas. Thomas gives off to Harris. Harris closes in on 50, but wait, he's tackled by Smith. Or is it Williams? Williams scrabbles for the ball, kicks it to a guy in blue, who kicks it to some other guy in blue. Now some tall bloke has the ball. He kicks it to an even taller bloke. Kick, handball, kick.
Don't miss the best bits. You won't miss a moment if you drink Wise. Proudly brought to you by Drinkwise.
Good for the game tomorrow?
Nah, still trying to sell the car.
Give me your phone, let me do it.
Yeah, good luck.
Car sales, instant offer.
Car sales what?
Instant offer. You can skip creating an ad, dealing with buyers and waiting for a decent offer all weekend.
Is that the offer for my car already?
Yep. Now just take it to one of the official buyers nationwide, get it looked over, and the money drops the next business day. So I'll see you at the game then?
Yeah, see you at the game.
Car sales instant offer. The hassle-free way to sell your car.
T's and C's apply.
Want to win free barista-made coffee for an entire year? That's a lot of lattes. Just buy a McCafe coffee on the My Maccas app for your chance to win. There are 25 winners every day. But hurry, limited time only. Ends 30th of the 8th, 22. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecom for full terms.
Updating your wardrobe with new club colours and merchandise, or buying that footy-themed birthday gift? Head down to the AFL store at the Movement in the Basement, Maya, Melbourne. It's your one-stop shop for your official AFL licensed merchandise. Take a high-flying mark in an official authentic Team Guernsey. Get moving with a new backpack, or tackle those gift ideas with beanies, cups, cutlery, umbrellas and more. 3 votes for the AFL enthusiast. See you at the AFL store at the Movement in the Basement, Maya, Melbourne.
Whether you've driven to work, caught a plane, hit the pub, or watched the game this week, you would have seen a big screen video installation along the way. We entertain audiences with our innovative big screen solutions. Visit bigscreenvideo.com.au to see how BSV can bring your space to life.
From first-time browsing to big-time arousing, Sexyland is all about fun. We have Australia's biggest range of sexy costumes, couples' toys, fun gifts and games for adults. And our team of fun specialists are always here to help in-store and online. Sexyland 11 stores open 7 days until midnight in Melbourne and Geelong, or shop online and get 2-hour delivery.
Take me now, I'm coming. Take me now, Sexyland.
Want an internet provider with the most satisfied customers? Mate has been rated the best for overall NBN satisfaction by CanStar Blue's annual providers review. In fact, Mate are the only telco to score 5 stars in all areas. That's customer service, value for money, ease of setup, bill and cost clarity, as well as speed and reliability. So, join the most satisfied NBN customers. Choose a provider you can trust, like a Mate. Visit letsbemates.com.au.
If you're a driver, rider, pedestrian or bystander and been injured in a road accident, you could be entitled to compensation. Arnold, Thomas and Becker can advise on all your entitlements, which could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and is in addition to what is provided by the TAC. Talk directly to an Arnold, Thomas and Becker lawyer and start your claim today. Arnold, Thomas and Becker Lawyers, securing compensation for Victorians for over 50 years. And if there's no win, there's no fee. Call 1300 333 300.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now. Macca's, I'm loving it moments. Grab a creme brulee pie for just $1.50.
Tigers have it in the left forward pocket at the throw in. Soldo down to Edwards, out the back to Sonsi. Yes, on the snap. He floats it home. And a soaring moment, his first in league footy. The I'm loving it moments for Macca's. Grab a creme brulee pie for just $1.50. The only goal in the third term. Richmond by 7. Nathan Jones, Kane Corns.
Well, there wasn't a whole heap of exciting moments in that quarter. Bit of an anticlimax, really. But the scores are tight, and we're heading into the last, and there is a lot on the line for both teams. So, you know, I'm hoping for a big finish. I think that might have just been the dour quarter this game needed as it spikes up towards the finish. What do you think, Kane?
So this is what Fremantle need. Prime time stage, good opposition, things haven't gone all your way. You've got your best player down, injured. This is one of those gritty wins that you need. It doesn't feel like it's going to go that way. Like their forward line, so it's Logan Taverner. There's smalls everywhere down there. Let's see if they can cause a bit of chaos.
Opening bounce for Tyre Power, your match day favourites for tyre safety. Final term underway. Mundy trying to barge through. Cochin held him by a hand. He squeezed the kick though inside 50. Took an awkward bounce. Broad swatted it away initially. McIntosh onto the footy. Pounds the Tigers forward, but Pearce had best position on Bolter. And he wins it right back for Freo.
Mundy was good. The footy he's played, the age that he is, win a ball like that with one hand to still get your foot on it. But once again, Richmond defend incredibly well.
He's in the Taverner direction. Tarrant made the spoil. McIntosh not sure-handed, and Tarrant hand passed it straight for the boundary. Umpire was the wrong side of it. He was behind Tarrant.
So the message got to be for Richmond, as for Fremantle, if the ball comes into the forward line, we can't get out marked. Because we've got Frederick, we've got Henry, we've got Walters, we've got Schultz, we've got Collier. Just bring it to ground.
Throw in. Darcy tapped it to the front. Prestia, and then Darcy joined the multiplying throng. No one could get a clean handle on the footy. Another ball up inevitable.
Even numbers, 4 to the ball. I like it. So they've numbered off, and they're going to make it more difficult. I've lost his.
He's hiding
he's just
behind
popped up from behind someone, so he actually is free. So they're persisting with that as Freo win a free kick.
So Darcy's got to kick into that outnumbered area. He doesn't really want to. Eventually he does. He gives it height. Can anyone jump up? Well, Foster did. Late work from Logue, and then he got it back from Aish. Taverner handled it pretty well, composed. Sarong blasted and didn't get the ball in the right spot. It misses everything. Out of bounds on the full. It's still Richmond 46, Fremantle 39. The Macca's scoreboard warm up with an apple pie.
The blueprint, though, like Loston's in really good position, but Logue, as you said, just got a hand in, and then the small forward's got to work, and Sarong should have been better then.
And for Shaw uniform experts. Grimes out of the back pockets. Nankervis brought it to ground. Prestia couldn't take clean possession. Ryan against the flow. Hand passed it away to Akers. Tried to tumble it forward. It bounced up very harshly and hit Brayshaw out of bounds.
Better balance at that contest. That's where Richmond's been able to smash Freo all night, is from those long down the lines to be able to pop and create out into open space out the back.
Dockers at right half forward at the throw in. Darcy to the front. Akers tried to charge through. Soldo off the ground. Found its way to Baker. Kicked without hesitation. Pearce had it covered out the back of Bolter, though.
And a couple of times, Pearce. That was a genuine one-on-one, but he did find his target. Luckily to Walker.
Spread it to Walker. It looked for a moment like it might have cleared him. He went for Young, who takes a mark when Grimes seemed to have best position to intercept.
Judging it that well, Grimes, as he usually would. Like, he did everything right, but just ran under the footy.
Young with a chance to bring the Dockers up to half forward. He got under the kick a little. Taverner in front. Tarrant made the spoil. Schultz underneath. Hand pass to Aish. Doubled back. Didn't get the best of the snap, and it'll fall harmlessly near the face of goal. Rioli couldn't quite mark it. It escaped his clutches and is out of bounds.
And they've been a hell of a lot better defensively. They've kept their depth, not allowing Richmond in to get behind them. And also on the rebound, I've liked that they've kept flow on the footy.
Nathan Jones for sure. Unify your team. Throw it in the forward pocket. Ruckman took a swipe at it solo, and he missed it. It bounced back up to him. And Darcy hugged it in. Another ball up. Still Richmond by 7. Darcy got his left-hander that he tried to grab it out of the ruck, got a partial kick away. Henry had a moment. Brayshaw more successful to Frederick. Left foot screws it a little too much, but Taberner this time got to the drop of the ball and takes the chest mark.
Just think your way through it. Akers just told him straight away, just take your time. He looks to be rushing it here. He's got a lot more time than that to think his way through it.
He's a left footer. He should just open up the goal front and kick a goal just like that. And Freo get it back to a 1-point ball game off the boot of Matt Taberner. It's 6:10:46 to 6:9:45, and your guess is as good as mine as to what's going to happen from here.
Yeah, who knows? But once again, they couldn't have started any better, really. They've had a couple of opportunities. I mean, even that one for Frederick was a pretty good opportunity. I mean, it was under pressure, but 25 metres out left foot. Taberner just read it better for one of the few times tonight, got the better of his opponent in Tarrant. But, yeah, they've started with a bit of ferocity that we haven't seen, and their willingness to compete front of centre, bring the ball to the ground, give themselves multiple opportunities.
A crucial moment for New Farm, Australian through and through.
Good finish too.
Rachel
Really
now
good finish.
leads all comers with 24, Young 23, Prestia 22 for the Tigers. Safety still sheds stats. Bounced in the middle. Soldo went hard at it, but Mundy's going to win the centre clearance again. He ran into Sonsi and escaped. Mundy. Oh, there's no dog like an old dog, is there? Out the far side, although Pickett was able to bring it to ground and turn it over. Hand passes to Floston. Finds a way out of half-back. Kicks a good one to Revox.
Great Pickett. Great courage to get a hand in, run back when he didn't know what was coming.
Revolt, a lot of signalling. He's about to get run down from the side. Got it to his boots. It drifts away, though, inside the 50. H made the spoil. Clark onto it. Mundy, Clark, and now Pearce off the back edge of the centre square. It's a neat kick into the middle. Schultz mark, hand pass to Collier, brings it forward to Walters. He's at half forward. He looks to Taberner, and he hugs it to it. It's Logue this time who's on the lead, and he hugs it to his chest.
Been far more assertive on offence. They've been brilliant defensively, getting up in behind Richmond, not allowing them to scoot out the back, and off the back of that they've been really quick and decisive with their ball movement back through the corridor, creating fast overlap.
You're right, Jack was just a bit slow and didn't sense the pressure coming from the side, which kicked the high ball inside, and Aish was terrific running back with a flight, and then they methodically worked their way through.
Griffin Logue from 40 out to give the Dockers the lead. He misses to the left and ties it up instead. 46 apiece, 6-10 each of two on the Macca's scoreboard. Warm up with an apple pie at Macca's.
It's great signs for Freo, though, being far more assertive than we've seen.
The back pocket has played with scores level from Floston to Grimes.
Just wonder whether it's Bolton time forward, because it feels like Richmond are having the same issues that Freo have had, just struggling to get a winner front of centre.
Stand start. He tosses it high to half back. Pearce had a good piece of it but didn't bring it down. Now it's Ralph Smith. He's worked out of it by Walters, who jumps on the footy, and they jump onto him. Ball up.
And now you get the extra at the stoppage if you're Fremantle, and Richmond try and manoeuvre the free behind the ball. Their preferred is Boston, and he's free again.
Yeah, there's two behind the ball. In fact, as Ralph Smith comes up and gets it off the back of the stoppage, could have been a hole in the man on Baker, not paid. Logue, now Mundy whips it in deep. Taberner knows it's going over his head. Miller had a crack at it in the air, and then it tumbles towards the line, and it's over and out.
Well, we asked Adam Kingsley, you did Hutto before the game, have you practiced your close finishes? He said, absolutely we have. Let's see how much they've practiced them this week.
Scores level, 15 minutes to go on the Makita rule, the outdoors clock. Soldo the tap. Walters has the footy in the forward pocket, has time, has space. Blew the kick on the full.
Opportunities. Justin Longmuir will be going, yeah, there's tactical things we can change, but, I mean, if we just made the most of the opportunities that we've had in the second half, we're up by 4 goals.
Miller on the restarts. Kicks the Tigers will be on the defensive 50. Cox made the spoil over the top of Bolter. Baker first play underneath, didn't gather, knocked it forward and over the boundary.
Yeah, so the match winners for Richmond, who you're looking to now? Well, you're looking at Prestia around the footy. Baker and Bolton is your class. So they're the three that have got to will themselves into this game right now. Game on the line.
For Whirlpool Kitchen and Laundry Appliances. From the ruck contest out on the wing. It's gathered by Graham. Hand pass to Baker. He's in the tackle of Young. It's on the footy.
Bolton's clever, so he just hovers around the stoppage and then he's off. As soon as he senses his man go and get drawn in and get the ball goggles on, he reads it better than most.
Grabbed by Soldo out of the ruck. Tumbles it forward. Cumberland up to meet it. Ryan wore him closely and it's holding the ball. Wow. Tight call. Laura Cumberland. Free kick to Luke Ryan at centre half back. Chapman makes space for him. He backs back and reels in the mark eventually. Can have a bounce now as things open up ahead.
That's his kick right, Hutto.
Yeah, it's a good one this time. He finds Young, who almost always uses it well. And he's been forced just to pause here.
Lost him back there patrolling. Soldo back there as well for Richmond.
Angle kick was good to Clark. Now he can go. Takes the territory. And then long to full forward. Shilts! Oh, he flew the pack. Just didn't quite bring it down. It bobbled out. Broad pounces on it. A handball to Pickett. They emerge up against the defensive 50. Crafty kick down to Bolton. Walker flew and ran the interference successfully. And then Young got it to Cox, who did a full 360. No one coming at him now. It's go-ahead time, and he identified Tabernar. He could kick it long to Sonny Walters, who could turn back time, or he could go into the pocket to Schultz again. He went short to Brodie, who's almost within range. He thinks he is. He steps around Baker off the left boot. You're kidding. It does fall short, and it's marked by Soldo. They can mark him in the back half at the ruckman. They don't know how to mark him in the front half. That was a good tap.
Just rushed it, Brodie. He just needs to think Young was there for a handball receive. He dodged onto his left. He's never going to make the distance.
Scores stay level. Hand pass to Broad on the last line and out to Tarrant, who clears the defensive area. Cumberland takes the mark.
Breaking down here, haven't they, Jonesy? This next kick's been a real problem for them in the last quarter.
Cumberland goes long down the line. Revolt got clear of Pearce on this occasion, so Richmond with a 4A forward. Revolt hatches the footy again. Starting, now he gets himself moving. He'll kick it up in the Nankervis direction. A couple against him. Chapman stood his ground in front and he was paid some high contact. He did enough to be paid the mark as well, I fancy.
The defence has been unreal this quarter. Chapman, Pearce.
Across the face of goal to Clark. Short pass to Young. Up the middle, great kick. Enterprising stuff for Walker, who spreads it instantly to Collier. Told to get it moving. Taberner's out momentarily. Tarrant arrives late. Miller got caught with the footy. The Dockers tied up. I'll be happy with that, Banfield.
And they just pat Tarrant on the head. That's a terrific effort to come across and spoil. But I thought Banfield was equally as good to neutralise that ball because they were outnumbered in the end once the ball came to ground. 3v2 and Banfield was good to tie it up.
Soldo comes off limping a bit. I wonder if they might want to feel like they might want to make a change. Mundy forced the issue. His pants were grabbed. He got the kick away. It's a high ball. Low just crashed the pack. Come what may. It's grabbed by Preston. That's out of the full. No decision to be made.
Mundy's testing the umpire like 3 or 4 times already in this last quarter and just saying, well, probably could have played that. He did hold it a long time. Was good enough to dispose of it, but maybe just first give now for David Mundy. He's trying to do a bit too much.
Walker to launch it to the square again. Couple fall over, and that meant Lowe could fly. Brilliantly done by Prester. Off the pack to Edwards. Kicks it forward, first to it, Young. Withstood the pressure, takes the mark.
Jonesy's
he's been terrific.
Turns it back into the middle of the ground. It just got safely to Clark before Baker arrived. And then off to Kane's ball.
The wraparound. He delivers inside 50. Loads well placed. He got up. He couldn't take the mark. He tackles Floston underneath and ties it up. They've had 3 good flies at footies. Any one of them would have put them in front if they'd hung on the Dockers.
It's the ease at which they're able to create turnover at the minute and then take territory off Richmond going deep back inside 50.
Dockers forward. Tarsi once and twice, but Sonsi's in the pack. He squeezed the kick to half-back. Clark made the spoil and wore plenty of contact as well. It fell for Cox. Risky hand pass to Brayshaw and to Walker. They lost it. Baker out the front to Bolton on the run. Hand pass to Bolter, who didn't know it was coming by the time he turned. The moment has passed because Pearce is onto it. To Cox, to Clark, defensively to Aish.
His speed was just so vital in Clark, wasn't it?
It was a terrific pressure and, forced the turnover. Cox also in the front half just needed to get the ball on the boot over handball, caused a turnover, but missed opportunity from the Tigers.
Kick was on to half-back. Pearce got things moving. Collier kicks to half-forward. Walters gathers a bouncing ball. 2 tackles. Had to release it and did. Floston's about to get caught by Logue. They stopped thinking they would get the free kick. They had no right to. McIntosh out to Prestia and on to Graham.
And now to Ralph Smith on the overlap. Brayshaw came for him. He kicked it quickly. Oh, great stuff, Cumberland. Saw off Pearce. Bolton mark. Unencumbered. 20 metres out. 10 metres out. The Tiger roar. Up into the third. And Richmond leads by 6. Second goal for Bolton. Well done, Cumberland.
Oh, how good was he in the one-on-one marking contest? You've got to take it back further than that, though. Richmond's ability to turn the footy over in their back half. Walters had possession, didn't sense that they were coming from everywhere, and they came from everywhere.
He had to go back onto his left side, and just got himself caught.
Didn't see it, and then Jared's right. Everyone stopped, but Richmond eventually kept playing and were able to transition their ball back 50 to forward 50. Cumberland was out. Well, he outbodied Pearce, who has hardly put a foot wrong all night, but on that occasion was just pushed off the ball. So who would have thought a young player like that would have so many pivotal moments? And then Bolton's as good as anyone at getting out the back in the competition.
A major error came from Cox, who left Bolton all on his own and didn't come to impact.
Richmond by a goal, thrown up in the middle after the Dockers were totally disorganised. Cochin soccers it off the ground, out to the wing. Akers, telling mark, gives it off to Brodie, brings them up to Taberner. No mark, ball got to the back, Pickett is there. Got the kick away in the nick of time, wants Graham. Reaching in to make the spoil was Ryan. Ball loose in the middle. Cochin is onto it. Dragged down in the tackle. It hit his boot on the way through. Next tackle laid by Prestia, who takes down Sarong. Ball it up.
Big ball in the middle, neutral in the end. The umpire was going to ping Cochin for holding the ball. Ended up calling play on because he just got his foot to it.
Centre of the ground, Richmond by a goal.
Nanks in the ruck.
Punched forward by Brayshaw, cut off by Prestia, off to Cochin. Not much of a kick coming forward. Young cuts it off, chalk him up for another. Hand passes it away to Akers, works it to Brayshaw, cutting back inboard as Walker. Delivers the Dockers inside the 50. Walters flew, made no contact. Sarong underneath, dropped the footy in the tackle of Floston. The Tigers' defence is putting the clamps on.
He's been in the votes, I reckon, Kane.
Crucial moment for New Farm Australian through and through.
It is amazing they just allow him to do that because he reads it so well. He read the intercept in the air and then won it with his follow-up as well. Just the last person you want behind the ball. And Logue's dropped that many marks tonight.
Rioli is on as the sub. The ball up to the wing, and now Sarong wins it back for Fremantle. Shared it with Brayshaw, then got it back to half forward. This is more promising. Up to meet it is Akers. There still is the extra couple back for the Tigers, Broad and Floston. So again, he contemplates and then kicks to where those numbers are. Banfield's tried to join them to even it up. Broad in the air made the spoil. Banfield gets his chance at ground level. Cool. Left foot kick. It was coming back. Wow. And it curls through. And Fremantle respond and the score is tied up. We could be headed for another heady 60 seconds at the end for the Tigers. Are you in for the ride, everyone?
I don't know. I'm trying to work out how that happened because it was just a slow, high ball inside 50 that Richmond have been eating. So Broad left Banfield, thought he was going to fly, but Banfield just recovered quicker and he got the handball receive in the right spot for a left footer and it just curled late. Got some good purchase on it. They haven't been accurate from their snaps tonight, Fremantle. One was definitely due to go in, but Broad went and didn't impact. The ball fell to the front of the pack when it should have been spoiled out towards the boundary line in a dangerous position. And
Miller subbed off, is it? Is it Miller subbed off?
Yes, it is. Yeah. For Spitwater, tough and ready. Scores level, 8 minutes to play. Nankervis wins the tap. Brodie got his boot to ball, but it landed in the clutches of Ralph Smith. So he has it at halfback for the Tigers. An enterprising kick to half forward. Revolt arrives into the pack with a huge mark.
Turn back the clock there.
Bendix breaks, big moment. Confidence stopping, Bendix breaks. 2 kicks out from goal is Jack. He'll kick it up near the teeth of goal. The Dockers are well set. And Darcy's grounded right of way to take the intercept mark. Just had nothing in the air, Richmond. So the ruckman safely navigates his kick across the face of goal to Ryan. Kick expansive on the way out, risky. Akers underneath. Spoil made by Terrence.
He's spoiled.
Out of bounds.
He's spoiled well tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Terrence?
I've liked his game. I think he's been terrific. Rock solid back there.
Left half forward as a result for Richmond. That's where the throw-in will be. 52 apiece. Nankervis wins the tap. Underneath, Brodie took the territory with a kick off the ground. Grimes in front, wrapped up by Lowe. Got the hand pass away. Nankervis driven backwards by Akers. All the way back over the boundary. They continue to grapple in the aftermath. Throw it in. And tags out. Soldo comes in. Cumberland returns to the fray. Throw in under our broadcast position. Soldo wins the tap and the footy momentarily. Prestia tried to find the way through, shot it out the side. Cochin arrives, takes some territory up the line, but it'll turn over. Clark has it for Fremantle. Took a bit of time to assess what was happening. Dumps the kick down the line, needs a bounce. It was awkward to deal with. Graham, though, is onto it. Kicks to centre half forward for the Tigers. Revolt can't get a look at it. Cox brought it to ground. Ryan's in a 2-man tackle. He's wrapped up. The umpire's going to ball it up. 50 out from the Tiger goal.
Right on the 50. Thrown up now. Darcy in front. Got the tap down. At his feet, Sarong. Rioli was closing off the instep. The kick goes out towards the boundary. Pitches in front of Collier. Knocked it away. Ralph Smith fell over. Pickett joins the fray. He overruns the footy as well. Collier flicked it up to Sarong. His hands were sharp to the outside. Aish scrambles a left foot kick forward. Banfield meets it at full pace. Gave it back to Collier, who kept on coming. But Rioli tracked him down. Dragged him down. And won the football. Magnificent play.
Oh, he was great, Collier, because there was 3 or 4 efforts in there, as there was with Sarong, but the fresh man onto the ground with fresh legs. Just so many holding the ball tackles tonight.
High kick from Rioli to the wing. Pearce was the stumbling block. Brodie a half handball. Baker a tackle on Clark. He just got through. Eked out a handball. Brodie a mechanical looking kick disrupted in the ball flight. And it's out of bounds on the full as Bolton ducks forward. After influencing that.
Touch over 5 minutes to go. Dig deep. Just have to dig deep here.
So much on the line. Scores a level late on a Friday night. Rioli, Dan, sets it up to the 50. Cox the spoil. It's not out yet. It is now. It trickles over the line for a throw-in. 5:24 remaining, in fact, on the Makita clock. The crucial moments tonight are for New Farm, Australian through and through.
I love this Richmond forward half stoppage. It allows all their defenders to step up and set up the play. Broad's the free behind the ball.
40 out from the Richmond goal. Darcy got his hand to it. Mundy, sharp hand pass to Sarong and then to Akers. Kick down the line in a hurry. Banfield and McIntosh form up. Rioli arrives. Dan to assist with the tackle. It'll be balled up in the centre square.
Great result. Broad still behind the ball. Fremantle once again will have the extra. It's Brodie at this stoppage.
The ball up. Soldo reaching for it. He has it, but Darcy has him.
Fostone's been off for quite... I think he's fine. He's been off for quite a while on the bench. It's unusual.
Tossed up again. Darcy unimpeded with the tap. Down to Mundy. Ineffective hand pass. Although Walker charges down the kick of Prestia. Walker got it from Darcy. Gave it to Aish. Trying to get through was Chapman. Ferocious tackling. Bolton's on the burst.
The second one was high. The second tackle from Rioli just came in. The Pickett one was aggressive and fine. It's the second one here from Rioli. What he gets through that one, and that's the next one that got him high. Good umpiring.
Down and he wore the open palm to the face, did Chapman, so he holds up under the pressure. Kick in the low direction, deliberately brought it to ground for Collier to run onto. Not the hand pass that Mundy needed, right at his laces. Collier goes again. Frederick on the scene, fumbles, gets it back, gives it to Akers. They're giving ground in possession, the Dockers. Sarong with a sweeping hand pass. Cox with a chance to set it up. He caressed the kick, couldn't find the target in Walker. McIntosh the lunging spoil. Graham got bundled over. Good work from Schultz. He tied it up. Right half forward, holding the ball against Richmond.
Just got to get it in. So reluctant to drive the ball deep. Scores a level. I mean, even a point is handy with a couple of minutes to go.
Schultz kicks, two come at him, but Soldo drifted over the top. The misplaced ball as it turned out. He takes the mark in the back pocket. 7:10:52 Richmond. 7:10:52 Fremantle. 3 minutes 45 on the Makita clock. He plays it back to the last line. Broad has the footy. Which way? He goes back, takes the risk out, goes short to Tarrant. He can pop it across safely to Short. They haven't exited the defensive 50 yet. They should do it on the next kick. They do to Cochin. So they have it at half-back, 3 minutes 23 now.
This is what Sydney did to them last week. Can they actually number off here, Freo? Or are they going to continue this 18-man zone, which has worked pretty well tonight? Now, slow play, force the kick long down the line. Darcy and Soldo waiting for it.
Broad does go down the line, tosses it high. Revolt and Soldo are both there representing the Tigers. It creeps out the back, not looking dangerous yet. Short trying to make his move, but Cox was onto that. Sarong pushed, but got the handball to Collier. Pumped it to Brodie. Not much left in those legs. Kick went up and down on the spot. Good spoil, Bolter. Hands were great pressed there. Edwards the kick, the rise, Cumberland at the back. It's Ace. It's Bolton. Ace was cool enough. Gave it to the masked Pearce, who kicked it to Cox, who takes the mark. 2 minutes 37 on a pulsating Friday night under the lights.
Short kick on the way out to Young. Will Freo dare to win it? They have it at half-back and they go backwards.
He's gone backwards.
Cox across the face of goal. Aish is his man on the way out. Richmond have moved their zone across the field, though. Nothing for Aish to work with other than Brayshaw in centre field. The click was a fingertipper. He dropped it. Baker swoops it up. Kicks inside 50 where Bolter marks. The finest of margins. It's on the fingertips of Brayshaw, but it falls from his grasp.
It was the right kick. Definitely the right kick.
And now Noah Bolter. He will surely score. He's 50 metres out from goal, but we know what a thumping kick he is. With a minute 30 on the clock.
Time's up.
He's been called to play. Won't score. Charged down by Frederick. Even by Richmondy standards, that was bizarre. Ball loose at the 50. Schultz hand passed it away. The Dockers trying to bring it forward desperately. Akers is repelled, though, by McIntosh, who found the way through.
Back through the middle to Flostone. He takes it in the middle of Marvel and then goes searching. He decides to defer. Handballs to Broad. Gets to the inside. Gives it everything he's got. Revolt went early. Cox grabbed it. Play on. He can't. It's a tight squeeze, getting tighter. 53 seconds to go. Scores are level. It's deep in Richmond's attacking zone. They get sorted. It's Darcy. Nankervis, they push into each other. Darcy the tap. Young with Rioli bearing down. Young towards the pocket, towards the line, towards safety. Can't get there yet. It stays in. No one can handle it cleanly at all. The pack just grows and grows. Young tries to back out. Rioli dives on him. And the umpire crosses his arms. And there's 30 seconds to go. And still we can't split them.
Richmond have it deep forward. The advantages are notionally theirs. Here comes the way of Baker. Dragged off it by Clark. Bolton trying to create. Ran into a dead end. Holding the ball. Ryan wrapped him up.
Wow.
Heroic efforts from Clark first and Ryan second, because if that ball comes out, it's going through for a score.
I've got Richmond killing Richmond in my ears.
Yeah.
Like
going to be a draw.
The Bolter one where you would think they might get one more opportunity if this ball comes back in, but you've got to kick it
Ryan short to Young. Can Fremantle move it to the other end? Long down the line to the pack. Nankervis couldn't mark. Tarrant has it. Kick was smothered by Logue. The ricochet near the boundary. Collier works it over from Broad. 10 seconds from the stoppage, which is right on centre wing.
Oh, it's going to be a draw.
On the City wing, they form up around the throw-in. Scores are level. Are we going to have a draw? It'll take something pretty amazing. It squeezes out the back. Pickett surging forward. Pokes it. Yes, Cumberland. Just outside the 50 with the siren sound. He played on. Richmond have shot themselves in the foot again. The most chaotic finish to the game. Cumberland took the mark just outside the 50. He is in tears. He can't believe it. Consoled by his teammates. He played on instinctively because he may have thought he was too far out to score, which is fair enough. And no one quite knows how to feel. They console him again and again. And those words from Damien Hardwick from last week are still ringing in all our ears.
Richmond killing Richmond. The litany goes Castagna, who either didn't kick the goal or get it over the top against the Suns. Smart arts last week, and this week neither Bolter nor Cumberland get their shots to win the game. One has the shot clock expire on them, and one plays on as the siren rings.
Incredible.
The Bolter one is just flabbergasted.
I can't believe it.
He went back a long
way.
Yeah, and all he had to do was start his move in, and he had no awareness of that.
And Cumberland is a rooster. Well, he roosts the ball. Well, he's going to make the distance. And you can understand that one. Just needed some cooler heads, which they haven't had.
The draw takes Freo to third ahead of Brisbane, and Richmond remain in eighth as they were going to.
Richmond are vulnerable to either the Bulldogs or St Kilda. They'll lose their place in the eight if either of those two teams below them wins. So nobody gets what they came for. 7-10-52 each of two. A very strange a strange second half.
Strange second half, definitely.
How many goals in the second half?
2 each. Yeah. Goal kickers at the end. Bolton kicked 2 for the Tigers. 1 for Revolt, Bolter, McIntosh, Cumberland and Sonsi. Well, for Fremantle, there were singles to Logue, Fife, Walters, Aish, Brodie, Taberner and Banfields. You know, sometimes they say in a draw there's a winner and a loser. There's no winners tonight. Just
not with what was at stake for both teams. It's I think I played in 3 of them, and it's the worst feeling. If I had it my way, I would have loved to see a result. I don't know what your thoughts are, Kane, but
penalty shootout now.
There were only 3 scores in the last quarter. They might have played another 10 minutes and not scored again.
Yeah.
3 scores in the last quarter.
The opportunities that Fremantle had as well. Look at the safety still shed stats in terms of what the inside 50 number was in the last quarter. Yeah, it was 16-9 Fremantle's way. They did have the game on their terms. And late, I mean, they went for it as well. The kick inside to Brayshaw could have easily have come off, and they may have been able to transition the ball. They defended incredibly well. The last 2 minutes, it felt like it was inside Richmond's forward 50 for a while. That's not easy to do, defend any score, let alone a goal, which they did. The holding the ball on Shea Bolton was held on with 20 seconds to go. So, yeah, both teams had their opportunities.
The Ryan tackle on Bolton, Toro tackle of the game, count on it after Morris Rioli had run down Collier. So all the little things combined, and there's no margin in the end. They've all shaken hands and left each other's company, go and wander off. It's not going to do anything for Damien Hardwick's overall mood, I don't think.
I guess the 2 points for Freo are better than nothing, aren't they? I mean, they are for Richmond as well, but...
Well, it's just Freo's is obviously the top 4, but I think a win for them is the way they're going. They play finals. That's a huge step for their season, but yeah, now it leaves where Richmond are positioned on the ladder. It just leaves them so vulnerable. With the Saints playing West Coast, you'd think they'd win if they can find some form, and the Dogs are every chance against Melbourne. come the weekend's end, they may well be out of the 8.
They could find themselves as low as 10th in that scenario, but yes, on the outside looking in with 4 to go potentially. And by their own hand across 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, so next week for Richmond, Brisbane at the MCG, that shapes to be a big game. They're all big, aren't they? And Fremantle will quickly turn their attention to Melbourne. So it doesn't get any easier for them as well. So it was good. Love the intent from both teams. It wasn't a high-flying, high-scoring game, but it's what makes our game so good. I mean, you can still be entertained in a variety of ways. And
it was an odd second half, though, wasn't it? It really
But I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like, I was like, this is... I don't know, there was just a physicality behind the game and a sort of a tactical battle that was fascinating. And as I said during the call, Justin Longmuir was probably going, I'm probably pretty happy with how tactically we went about it. If a couple of those snaps went through. And
it was interesting, though, that they just didn't, not at all, try to equal up the numbers with Foster.
They must have been
happy with
really comfortable with the work around the footy and thought if we can just bring the ball to the ground, which they did better in the last quarter, we're going to get some opportunities. So, yeah, as I said, Griffin Logue dropped 3 or 4 marks inside 50. Taberner dropped 1 as well. So, both teams had their opportunities. I felt like Fremantle left a couple of goals out there.
It's hard to actually work out who should have won. It was one of the... Usually, like you said, there's a winner or a loser.
Yeah.
Usually there's a team that you go, well, they probably should have won, but it's pretty even.
It felt like Richmond's style was prevailing halfway through the third quarter, but then for the next 40 minutes, Fremantle had the shape of the game and they didn't make the most of it.
Yeah, no, you're right. They got some ascendancy from the centre bounce. Mundy started to get his hands on the footy, but 51 entries to Richmond and 50 to Fremantle for 7 goals each. I mean, defensively, outstanding performance. Offensively, so you look at it one of two ways. Now, coaches today are a bit more defensive than
that's all they'd be.
Yeah, they'd be saying, well, we kept them to 7 goals from 50 entries. Like, pretty good effort. And then on the other side, the old school Malcolm Blight style coaches are going, what are you doing? Playing a game where you're not trying to score.
Yeah. And neither forward setup worked.
And neither. So do you come away from here going, any of these two teams can win the flag? Like after the Richmond and Geelong game, if Richmond get it going and they get dusty, I don't know, on the MCG in a big final, I reckon they can do some damage. But I don't leave here tonight having any confidence, really.
No, but I think it's a different look if you put Lynch and Dusty back down forward.
But it's big ifs.
It solidifies my concern with Freo, though, for sure. It was almost like they couldn't pull the trigger to go quickly forward to any sort of presence down there. It was almost like they had to try and create it almost out of nothing at times because they just didn't have a focal point where they could attack an area and create off that.
Forward line's an issue. Fife's an issue. Is his season on ice now? You would think 3 or 4. Then do you bring him back on the eve of the finals? I'm not sure. So, yeah, there's challenges for both sides.
I mean, that's such an interesting question for the remainder of their season. Tonight was his 6th game, and it has been... He's had a couple of moments where he's looked good for periods, but really it's been a rusty 6 games.
Yep.
His next game, best result is the first week of the finals. So do you bring him in off no footy?
Exactly, and you see the disruption of your preparation, as you know, particularly when you get to that age. That's going to be the issue for Lynch even, who's now had 2 hammies and is going to come back into the cutthroat business end of the season. Fife, Martin's the same. It's really about the health of your squad, really. And they're so reliant still on Mundy. He's playing centre bounce minutes, big centre bounce minutes when the game's on the line again. Will Brodie was found out a bit tonight, a couple of odd decisions, the one on the back flank here on his left foot that he just kicked it straight up in the air. He didn't quite handle the pressure. Yeah, question mark. Probably more questions than answers tonight for both sides is the feeling I get leaving.
It's a draw on Friday night. Richmond 7-10-52, Fremantle 7-10-52. So Richmond had led at each break by 2, by 3 and by 7. Fremantle kicked 2 goals, 1-1 goal in the final term. So after half-time, Richmond kicked 2 goals, 2 and Fremantle kicked 2 goals, 5. The final score for Macca's warm-up with an apple pie at Macca's. It's so strange. I wonder what we're doing down in the rooms. We might go to the Richmond rooms by the looks of things. So we'll see what they're making of it in there as well. One of the more peculiar draws we've seen in many a year. Our post-game wrap for Coates, where more than higher, we're equipped for anything. Just the Bolter moment with the shot clock is that's confounding, because he was going to score for sure. He would have been kicking from 50. And clearly just lost sight of the clock along the way. And before he realised it, the two Fremantle players to his right had been given every right to charge at him, and it was Walker or Frederick who got there to
it's the rule working, isn't it? I mean, once upon a time we didn't sort of have that rule where you're forced to play on, but...
It's happened once before, as Charlie Dixon down at Kidinia Park.
That's right.
And it was with the game on the line as well. And he forgot to watch the clock and had it expire on him.
So they've been rehearsing these things at Richmond training. I don't think they've been rehearsing that part. No. Got a set shot, look at the scoreboard. Make sure you start walking in. You just got to start walking in. That's all you got to do. You can take all the seconds after that.
For all the ways you could lose it. God.
Yep. I'm really struggling with the votes here.
Kane identified that
happy to help
an hour ago. No, you shouldn't get in any help.
It was a difficult night. Richmond games, I find, are hard at the best of times. They are really even. Their contribution from their players, often no one gets 30 possessions, whereas other teams, you got 4 players that get 30. It's more about the influence over the game. There was no forward that bobbed up and got a hold of them tonight.
Don't forget, Lee Matthews gave Nathan Broad votes in the...
That's right.
Norm Smith by mistake.
I think Jaden Short is about to join us in the Richmond rooms to get a sense of it. It's a confusing aftermath, and sometimes that's the case with a draw. Jaden, great to have you on AFL Nation. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah.
Bit of a head scratcher?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it didn't really feel like the end of the game, to be honest, when that siren went. But yeah, look, it was a close game, pretty hard battle with Freo. They're a great team, and yeah, look, we'll take the 2 points over a loss. So yeah.
There's obviously you've had a couple in recent weeks that haven't gone your way at the end, and Noah Bolter has the shot clock expire on him. So of all the things that can happen, that's not really one that you imagine.
Yeah, just those little things that are sort of popping up, I guess, and yeah, we've sort of managed to lose a few over the last few weeks, and just a few things aren't going our way. But look, we are addressing it. We're trying to train it, and yeah, we're doing our best to not lose those games, late in games. Yeah.
What did it feel like out there? We're trying to get a read of the game. They had the extra number around stoppage. You had the spare behind the ball, but it was messy. I don't think both teams used the footy that cleanly going inside their forward 50. What did it feel like out in the cut and thrust of it all?
Yeah, I suppose you probably summed it up just there, but I suppose we probably went a little bit too quick once we did get it going inside 50, and sort of didn't have enough time to catch up, to be honest. But no, look, we had some opportunities, and I thought the few of the boys stuck their heads into it and played well. But yeah, it's probably just our ball use going forward, a little bit rushed, but I think that was the case with both teams.
And tactically, for you, something different that we haven't seen a lot forward of the ball. Really tall Bolter and Big Nank spent a lot of time down there as a forward target. Soldo was down there a little bit as well with Jack. Was that something you rehearsed and chatted through during the week? Yeah, obviously with Big Lynch out at the moment, we obviously needed some forward presence, and to have Big Nank down there just to create a contest for us is unreal. And I thought Bolter had a great game today. If he didn't mark it, he was bringing the ball to ground for us. So yeah, I thought they were good ahead of the footy for us. And just one more from me, the close games. I mean, it can either go one of two ways, can't it? Collingwood are 7-1 in their close games, decided by 12 points or less. You're 1-4, and now the draw. We spoke to Adam Kingsley about the practice that you've put in, but. Yeah, have you got a thought on why this continually happens? Yeah, I have had that similar thought. Collingwood sort of getting over the line in those close ones, and we're sort of falling on the back of a loss. But yeah, look, there's obviously a few things throughout the game that we've addressed. It's not just one moment in the game. It's probably an all-round game, to be honest. And there's a lot of things we work on during the week, and a lot of things the boys are practicing, the coaches are putting into training as well. But yeah, there's a few things that are playing out throughout a game that are sort of affecting that. But yeah, they're certainly getting addressed at training, and we're certainly training pretty hard. Yeah.
So on we go. Jaden, thanks for your
time. We don't know quite what to ask either, Jaden. That's sort of how it feels up here too.
Confounding. Good on you, Jaden. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Jaden Short with us. 7:10:52. They're locked together at the end.
I always found it hard, Jonesy, as a player to sort of know what went on. And often coaches after the game, I don't know if your coach said the same, is like, I don't know if there's much point sort of telling you what happened until I watch the tape.
Yep. Totally agree. And in a game like that, even more so, everyone would be scratching their head right now. And I think it's a really sort of, you got to break it down into the nuances. I think you said it before, Jared. It's all of those little things that just compounded, and we get the result we get. It's a couple of little 1%ers go one way for Freo or the other way for Richmond, and we get the result. But ultimately, it was just, it ends up in a draw, which that's the game we play. And it's just such a weird feeling, isn't it? Like it's. This is why, from my personal perspective, I just would love to have seen a result. But I've been there and I've played in one, and just sitting here, being at the ground and experiencing it, it was so... Just everyone sort of gets up and leaves, and the players just walk off, and it's like, well, I didn't even know what to ask Jaden Short then. Like, it's... anyway, as you said, I think you got to take the positives where they are, and that I think Richmond in particular played a better brand, a more consistent brand of footy for the night, and they'll take 2 points over a loss for sure. But just adds to the intrigue of the season.
We'll take a moment to assess it all. There's some categories to work through and to forecast really what it's going to mean for these two teams going forward. Our experts for sure will unify. What are your thoughts? We'll contemplate all of that. Scores level at the end, 7:10:52. Richmond and Fremantle. Our post-game partner is Coates. We're more than higher. We're equipped for anything.
That quarter on AFL Nation was for Tyre Power, your matchday favourites for tyre safety.
At Elders Insurance, our support for our local community is hands-on. From local football to your favourite events, we give back in the ways that matter most to you. And because we live and work where you do, we can take the time to get to know you and your needs, as well as our community. Find your local agent at eldersinsurance.com.au or call 13 56 22. Elders Insurance is underwritten by QBE. Visit eldersinsurance.com.au to read the PDS and TMD to decide if this product is right for you.
Safety Steel, time to get real.
Tim Watson here. Can you remember as a kid painting goals on the side of your dad's shed and shooting for goals day after day? Well, they built them tough back then, just like the sheds from Safety Steel. For prefab steel kit buildings and custom designed sheds that are tough and durable, search Safety Steel. For your dream shed, search Safety Steel.
Safety Steel, time to get real.
Bring some excitement to game day with Big Screen Video, Australia's digital display experts. We're giving 10 lucky sports clubs the chance to win a $10,000 grant towards their own LED scoreboard. Register now at iCanWin.com.au/BSB. T&Cs apply. See website for details.
Serious outdoor work requires serious outdoor tools. And this season, Makita is helping you rule the outdoors. Right now, you can score yourself a bonus Makita LXT 18-volt blower free when you buy a selected Makita LXT 18-volt chainsaw kit. Hurry, limited time only. Offer via online redemption. Visit makita.com.au for details. Makita, rule the outdoors.
Connect with Beaumont Tiles and grow your business. Go to iCanWin.com.au. You could win a $25,000 advertising boost to take your business to the next level, supported by Beaumont Tiles. Builders, renovators, tilers, enter now. iCanWin.com.au.
It's time to clean up your career and finally be your own boss with a guaranteed income.
Clean It has been a leader in commercial property services for over 30 years. And now they are growing with new franchises right around Australia. With a huge contract base, including graffiti removal, high-pressure cleaning, building washing, and more, you'll be backed by an established brand with unlimited earning potential. Download your Clean It franchise info pack at cleanit.com.au. That's KLEENIT.
Good for the game tomorrow?
Nah, still trying to sell the car.
Give me your phone. Let me do it.
Yeah, good luck.
Car sales, instant offer.
Car sales what?
Instant offer. You can skip creating an ad, dealing with buyers and waiting for a decent offer all weekend.
Is that the offer for my car already?
Yep. Now just take it to one of the official buyers nationwide, get it looked over, and the money drops the next business day. So I'll see you at the game then?
Yeah, see you at the game.
Car sales instant offer. The hassle-free way to sell your car.
T&Cs apply.
Hi Australia, this is Sam Kerr, Australian football team captain and Chelsea FC footballer. Aussies have voted Mate as having the most satisfied NBN customers in the country in CanStar Blue's 2021 Satisfaction Awards. Mate scored 5 stars in 5 categories, beating all its competitors. If you want award-winning Aussie service together with great value internet, then Mate has your back. Search Mate online to find out more.
Still hunting around for incredible value? Ditch the magnifying glass and check out the Kogan Money credit card. There's no annual fee, plenty of tantalising rewards, and if you meet the spend requirements, you could earn $400 in credit to spend on Kogan.com. So go on and make the switch to a great value credit card at koganmoney.com.au/radio.
Offer ends August 21. T's and C's, credit criteria, other fees and charges apply. Credit provider National Australia Bank Limited.
You're listening to the 2022 Premiership season on AFL Nation for Beaumont Tiles. Hybrid flooring in store now.
Friday night footy ends in a draw. Richmond 7-10-52, Fremantle 7-10-52. A goal that saw the two teams kick just 2 goals each in the second half. You are on AFL Nation. The post-game show is for Coates. We're more than higher. We're equipped for anything. Hutto, we want to hear from Noah Bolter, don't we?
We do. So he's spoken to Channel 7 straight after the game about all the drama at the end when he played on, when he called the play on by the umpire as his 30 seconds expired, when he would have had a shot for goal to put them in front, and he did speak to Richo.
Thanks, BT. Noah, talk us through that situation you found yourself in there, mate. Obviously, going back, any score would probably be good enough. Did you hear the umpire call play on?
I didn't. I just saw a couple of Freo boys just running at me, and unfortunately, what do you do? Yeah, that's the game of footy. This is why we love the game. We like to play in close games like this, and unlucky it's a draw, but who cares?
To be clear, you didn't hear the umpire say that your 30 seconds was up?
Not a clue. I heard Jack Rewalt told me, take your 30. And then I'll see these players running at me. I go, well, I guess it's play on, isn't it? But, yeah, well, the game's over now. There's nothing you can do about it. No point on moaning, and whinging, so...
Oh, dear.
But who cares?
Who cares? And he managed to blame the umpires and Jack.
Yeah. If they just left him to his own devices, he was happy to kick it and put Richmond in front.
But who cares? That's quite him.
That's excellent, really. Let's give you a look at the statistical side of it. By the end, Fremantle had 55 more disposals, but had 1 fewer inside 50. So the Dockers 396 disposals to Richmond 341. The inside 50s, Richmond 51 to 50. The clearances, the Dockers won by 11, 39-28. The centre clearances, oddly, Richmond won 9-8, so that meant the rest of the way around the ground it was Fremantle 31-19.
Yeah, well, they had the extra up, I guess. So.
And I suppose that's the tactical part of it, but it didn't amount to more inside 50s than Richmond had. So, yeah, the read on that. Contested possessions were 134-132 in Fremantle's favour, and the marks 106 Fremantle to 95 Richmond. I think Jordan Clark's about to join us down in the Fremantle rooms. Yes? Yes, Jordan.
Yeah, sorry, lads. Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Jordan, welcome to AFL Nation. What did you make of that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a weird feeling.
I guess got to look at the positives. 2 points is better than none. So, hopefully it's important for us come the end of the year.
How desperate were those closing stages, all down in your portion of the ground with the Tigers attacking?
Yeah, look, I was, I tightened up at the end there. All I was thinking with the last 2 minutes was this ball's coming to my opponent. That's all that was going through my head to just keep me on my toes. And, I think there was probably a few match-saving moments there from everyone. So, they had their opportunities to win the game. We had our opportunities to win the game. And it was quite an exciting game to probably watch at home, but not to be out there.
No, it was an awesome game to watch. I thought the physicality and the intensity from both teams was finals like. You're right, you touched on it. You probably just didn't execute both teams as well as you would have liked. But what was the debate, if any, about their spare behind the ball versus yours at stoppage, and whether you thought about evening that up throughout the game?
Yeah, obviously we felt we probably fueled their ball movement a little bit by playing too straight, playing into their spares hands, and letting them generate their ball movement from our shallow sort of forward entries. And we came in at half-time and sort of spoke about it and tried to, drive a bit more corridor, switch a bit, keep the ball in our hands, safe and controlled, and make them defend for large periods of time. And, I just thought we probably could have executed that a bit more earlier, and who knows what would have happened.
Was there a tactic to use the handball as a weapon against them? Because at times it looked awesome early, but then you probably overdid it.
Yeah, like I touched on before, that's probably another thing that maybe invited their pressure and allowed them to kickstart their ball movement going forward. Typically, we don't really want to be a handball chain sort of team going forward, and we like to be finding marks, connecting in our launch pad, which is about 70, 80 metres out. So, that's probably one that we'll touch on during the week.
How's the skipper?
I haven't spoken to him yet, but I imagine he's pretty flat. Obviously, spent a large part of the game out over the last year and a bit, so he's probably pretty flat, but fingers crossed he's not out for too long.
Have you had a chat to the coach yet?
Yeah, we went in at the end there. And
what was his message?
Like everyone, it was interesting. It was sort of like, what do we feel like, lads? And no one really had too much to say, but JL sort of said, look, like what I touched on before, he sort of said that we didn't execute as much as we would have liked, but also we did some things that did some things right as well.
What does a weekend look like for your team after a Friday night game? I mean, you have the disadvantage of jumping on a plane for 4 hours every second week. Just run us through what the next sort of day or two looks like.
Yeah, so we go back to the hotel tonight, and we'll be up pretty early tomorrow. Last time we jumped in St Kilda Sea Bars, which hopefully we can avoid tomorrow morning. It's pretty cold. And then, back on the plane and home around midday, just after midday. It'll be day off tomorrow. Light jog, sort of flush, recovery, rehab for the boys that need it, and back into it on Monday.
Still take confidence out, like that you can absorb and handle finals-like pressure tonight for a young group from where you've come from. Like, do you feel like this is a group that can win a premiership, or do you need a bit more time? I know it's a difficult question to ask at this stage of the year, but what's the overall philosophy on how good your group is? Yeah,
obviously, we're a really young side, and we want to keep learning. We're eager to learn, and we just want to win as well. So, that's the main part. Everyone aims for the premiership. It's still obviously a real possibility. We're hoping. We just got to get back to our best. But these sorts of games are really good for us. I mean, it's pretty finals-like footy tonight, where it's hot, a bit scrappy, and you just got to keep throwing your body at it and trying to make things happen. So, hopefully we can take that as a bit of a learning curve for the next month ahead.
If it was your choice, Jordan, would you play a period of extra time once that siren rang, or are you happy to be done with it at that stage?
I'll back myself in and say, well, let's go the extra time. Let's go try and win it.
How would you be with the penalty shootout?
And I'll be handballing someone else, that's for sure.
Jordan, good to have you with us. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, lads.
Jordan Clark with us in the Fremantle room. So, both sides of the coin. No one's quite sure what to make of all of it. The one other number I wanted to give you was the tackle number. Richmond 63-55 won the tackle count, which was a real feature.
Good 63, Jared. A really good 60. I think Collingwood had 100 and something last week. Hutto and Adelaide was the same, but that felt like a really on Marvel Stadium in an open game, a terrific tackling performance.
All right, let's play around with a few of these categories to help tell the story of the night. The MEGT Rookie of the Day, your local apprenticeship expert.
Well, apart from the last moment, wasn't it, Cumberland? He had some big ones. He had the one-on-one with Pearce that set up the goal to Bolton in the last quarter, and just had some good touches. Kicked a big goal in the first quarter. So he just looks a player. You would have loved for his sake for him to have been able to go back and have that shot to either kick a point or a goal after the siren, but. Just looking at his final numbers, felt like he drifted out of the game. He had 10 at half time, just ended up with 12 in the second half, but he looks a player.
MEGT supporting employers and apprentices for more than 40 years. A crucial moment. Try to narrow it down to one for New Farm, Australian through and through.
It's got to be the set shot, doesn't it? That's the crucial moment and the call to play on. Of the 15 different scenarios you could have given me, I wouldn't have chosen that one as one of them to decide the game. Now, it's going to be unfairly looked upon as the one because there was many, but that was the crucial moment in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes back and kicks it out of bounds on the full, we can all go, yep, okay, well, that can happen. But you can't let the clock expire on you and die wondering. The tackle or tackler of the game for Toro, count on Toro to get the job done. In the frantic final stages, you have to split. Morris Rioli's rundown of Collier, which was one of the best of the season, but Ryan was able to stop Shea Bolton, who was threatening to get through and put up the winning score. You got to choose one or the other as the Toro tackle of the game.
I'll go Rioli. I love a chase down tackle. That's what he's in the side to do. Fresh legs, both of them fresh legs. Because Collie was awesome just in that previous build up to the play as well, winning one-on-one. So I'll go with that. Shout out to Miller in the first half on Fife, and also Big Nank laid a big crunchy tackle early on in the game as well.
They were good ones, weren't they?
Yeah, good tackle. Like you're not getting away from me. This stuff that was tough.
And even the one, so it was Akers down in front of us who came at Nank and just drove him back about 4 steps back over the boundary. They tackled like they meant it.
Yeah, Pickett had a couple of as well that showed a lot of aggression.
The Amy Clanger. Well, it's Amy Clanger for good, but there's no good to come of that. Not in a game that ends in a draw. Who covers Clangers? Amy does.
Well, should we give it to? I don't know if it was the kick inside to Brayshaw. It was from Aish, I think, from memory, whether it was the kick or the drop mark.
Fingertip.
I reckon,
You're going to say the kick?
I feel like, if you go back and watch it, I feel like Andy just misjudged it.
Yeah.
He sort of stepped forward and then double stepped back and still just overcooked it. So
that's what I thought. I thought the kick was on. And
it looked good. And it was on.
The kick was actually executed okay. So that was a bit of a clanger from Brayshaw and should have cost him the game.
But the Alex Pearce rubber to Shea Bolton
I know.
in a game that's decided undecided.
I reckon that's the clanger of the year.
Just about is the clanger of the year.
I'll give it to that.
He's still looking to replace that divot. Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. Now, the injury report is significant for Victor Sports. Sign up your club, victorsports.com.au. Nat Fyfe tore the left hamstring in the third quarter, straight down to the rooms, and next was seen with the big bag of ice taped to his leg. So there's nothing good in that, and for Fremantle, that's going to be that's sort of your unwanted tension point for the rest of the year, I think.
Well, that was their upside for me. What's their point of difference? And we saw it a couple of times, 2 marks inside 50 that he took, but then the flexibility that Fyfe gives you as well. When you need a big ball to be won or a crucial centre bounce, then put him in there and get him involved as the key players come to play. So now you've lost that. So that was the joker in the pack that they had in the lead up to the finals. If we can get this guy flying, and not even flying, but into a state, and it was the perfect runway for him. So, 6, 7, 8 weeks to get himself perfectly conditioned, manage him at training, manage his game time, and then let him loose in the final. So you lose that now, and you chase your tail a little bit. Is he a sub maybe in the final? I don't know. There's options you can play with, but clearly very deflating for Nat and Fremantle.
victorsports.com.au. And Ben Miller was subbed out of the game in the last quarter, although the half-suspicious mind would say that's to get Morris Rioli in the game.
We were talking about it minutes before it happened. You could see that that's what they wanted to do. So anyway.
It's another petition for that rule.
Yeah. Could get that.
Yeah, because
Should be
Shane
able to get that one
Stevenson was
changed in
subbed
the
off.
off-season.
He was hopeless against Collingwood. Subbed off in the last quarter. Plays the next week and nearly gets best on ground. It's just a joke of a rule.
That's a soft spot, that one. If we put you to work properly across November and particularly February, you get that done.
Okay.
I trust you, Kane, to sort that out. Play of the day for Mildura Regional Development. Kings of Leon are ready to rock Mildura Saturdays, October 29.
Favourite Kings of Leon song, Hutto? Off the top of your head, you got one?
Top of the head, I'd say I love you more than I can say.
What?
I've got no idea.
I don't have an idea. I should know.
I used to
listen to him a bit. Can't believe I'm saying that.
Just a
Leo.
Question without notice.
Hang on, I'll get
what
back
was
to
the play of the day? For me, it was the centre bounce clearance. So Brayshaw to Sarong.
Oh, yeah.
Lace out bullet to Fife, running flat out. Jukes out, go back and kick a goal from 35 out directly in front. Absolutely magnificent. But not going to see that for a few weeks.
My favourite Kings of Leon song is Sex on Fire.
There you go. You'd know that one, Hutto.
Toughest player of the day for Hardyacker Legendary Gear. So Caleb Sarong and Liam Baker were in a fearful collision.
Use somebody. I actually like that song.
They were both able to get up and continue the game. Hardyacker for a new breed of legends. Which one was the goal of the game for Host Plus and Industry Super Fund for all Australians?
I had Banfields written down, but it's not a great highlight. I mean, it's your standard snap.
It only has to be the best of the night, Kane.
Well, there was only 14 of them, and a lot of them were walking goals and set shots, so Walter's kicked a good one, but there it is.
Host Plus and Industry Super Fund for all Australians.
It's been a long night.
Most improved player for Valvoline. Which oil keeps your business moving? You know, Valvoline.
My man Hayden Young is just coming with an absolute rocket. He's going to be an exceptional footballer for a long time, getting a good run at it, and I thought he was pivotal tonight.
Valvoline, the original engine oil, and an unmissable moment for Drinkwise. Choose to drink wise. You won't miss a moment if you drink wise.
What about Revolt turning back the clock late in the game? He flew from about 4 deep and took a very nice contested mark that in a night that there wasn't many high-flying marks.
All right, so you only have to be in the best three players on the night. It doesn't have to be an all-time game, Nathan. It just has to be the best three of the night as you cast your votes for Whirlpool, your leader in kitchen and laundry appliances.
Just with a workman-like performance, Brayshaw.
This is going to be the most underwhelming.
Don't talk it down, talk it up.
Workman-like performance from Brayshaw. One vote. He's obviously set very lofty standards for the year, but he's finished with 28 touches, 9 score involvements. Thought he just went around and notched the footy up, and I thought he was pretty impressive. 2 is an obvious one for mine, Vlosten, and ultimately sort of Freo let him play that way, but he did capitalise, 23 touches, 8 intercepts, 6 tackles, and he just did what he's capable of doing, which is surprising really that they let that happen, let that occur, but I thought he was terrific in repelling a lot of Freo's forays forward. And then the obvious one is Kane's boy. Is it Hayden Young?
Yep.
He was outstanding, really. It's the first time I've seen him play live in the flesh. 31 touches, 23 kicks, 14 marks. I just loved his balance, his ability to defend and then rebound. He's a real architect with the footy in hand. I thought he was terrific tonight.
His 29th game, best of field. Hayden Young 3, Floston 2 and Brayshaw 1. The ladder for Signet. Power your life with a Signet Power Bank. So Fremantle up to third with the 2 points. Their percentage is now no longer relevant at 119.7. So 2 points behind Geelong and Melbourne and 2 points in front of Brisbane and Collingwood. If the Lions and the Pies win, Fremantle will be outside the top 4 at the end of the round. And Richmond in 8th place, 38 points. The Bulldogs 36, St Kilda 36. So the Dogs against the D's and the Saints over in the West against the Eagles. Richmond could be 10th, or if both stumble again, it'll lower the bar on what it takes to make the 8, which for a good period of time seemed like 13, but maybe not now. Maybe not. That's the ladder update for Signet. power your life with a Signet power bank. Do you think Richmond will make the 8, Kane?
No.
Yeah.
No, not now.
They're drifting away, aren't they?
Yeah. Hutto's taken pages and pages of notes. What is going on?
He puts the podcast together. It's a work of art.
Tomorrow morning, you can listen to all that happened tonight.
Yeah.
You'll hear a bit of yourself, so I'm sure you'll download
Definitely.
I look forward to seeing if he's made sense of it by the time I listen to the podcast, so that I know what to go with on crunch time. By the time we get there, there's a bit of thinking to go through. I know Leon Cameron's watched from the couch, so he'll be part of it tomorrow. He'll run the coach's eye over what transpired at Marvel tonight. Richmond 7 goals, 10.52 to Fremantle 7 goals, 10.52. A draw to start round 19. Our post-game partner is Coates. We're more than hire. We're equipped for anything. Kane, thanks. Jonesy,
Pleasure.
see you
Awesome.
soon.
Good
He's
fun.
off for a run.